Our boy Jay is a perfect student. He gets straight A's and is the student president. But after being coerced into joining the school's biking team, the Hummingbird crew, he discovers a whole new world outside of studying. What new adventures will he face outside the comfort of his textbooks? Let's find out. The scene opens with Jay telling his parents that he's going to the library. He wears his gloves and hops onto his cycle. After that, he cycles to the library. Some students gossip about going to the internet cafe, but the other boy refuses. They both get shocked as Jay passes by them at speed. They wondered what was that and if he was riding a bike. Jay, while cycling forward, sees construction work ahead. However, he jumps over the edge in style and continues on his journey. Some couples are having a good time while sitting on stairs, but Jay interrupts their moment by passing right beside them. He starts cycling with ease as he enjoys the wind and warm evening. The scene shifts to some kids talking about their new cycle. They wonder how a high schooler got a full carbon bike. On top of that, it looks heavy. The bike owner, TJ Kim, says they can't compare this beauty to anything else. His friends beg to let them ride once, but he tells them to just ride their own bikes. Another person, Minu, asks if he bought a bike when he already had one. TJ notices someone doing a downhill. The students gossip about that kid going crazy. He's coming downhill on that bike. Does he plan to get himself killed? Jay puts on his hoodie and looks down the hill. He then starts pedaling towards it. He remembers his parents saying that he's expected to get good grades and be competent. His parents asked why his grades were dropping. His classmates gossiped about studying being his only friend. Jay shatters all of those words by riding down the hill at full speed. He swiftly turns as he reaches the end of the hill. His tires sizzles, and he rests for a while. The students can't believe that he skidded down the hill without braking once. How could he pull something like that at that speed? TJ says that he's just showing off on that old hunk of junk. However, Minu commends him on his skidding skills. Minu's friend, June, says that he looks like their school president. Minu smirks and asks if he's in their school. He doesn't give a crap when it comes to school. He thinks he'll say hi if he meets him tomorrow. The scene shifts to the sunny high school that Jay is attending. The students talk about watching the series Breaking Bad yesterday on TV. However, our boy Jay studies diligently. Another girl sitting next to her stares at him. Yuna puts her arm around her and asks what she's thinking about. She inquires if she's studying for the exams that are coming soon. Mia replies that she's studying a bit here and there. Yuna tells her to be better prepared and asks if Jay treats her well. Mia replies that he does. However, Yuna says that it feels like he's harassing her. They wonder if he has any other hobby other than studying. He ignores anyone who talks to him. Mia says that Jay's not like that. He's not good at expressing himself, but he's a very sweet and responsible person. Suddenly, Minu shows up to the class. The girls greet him, asking if he's here to see them. Yuna wonders what that dork is doing here. He's getting them excited for no reason. Minu replies that he isn't here to see her, so she should better get lost. Minu teases her to not piss him off in the morning. Yuna gets angry, telling him to come here. Mia does her best to calm her down, suggesting she shouldn't fight her brother. Another teen named Dom is sitting behind her and thinks that Yuna looks cute even if she's mad. Minu thinks that he should just ignore her and do what he's here for. He heads to Jay's table and introduces himself. However, Jay doesn't give a damn about him and goes back to his studies. He tells him to go away as he's busy. However, Minu slams his desk and asks if he likes bike riding. If he's interested, then would he like to join their crew? Minu reminds him of the downhill he did yesterday. He remarks it was awesome. Their whole crew was blown away when they saw him skid down that hill. They didn't know that such a talented person was in their school. On top of that, the person turned out to be their class president. He welcomes Jay with open arms to join their crew. However, Jay ignores him and goes back to studying. Minu asks if he can't even pretend to listen to him. Minu's sister, Yuna, sees them chatting and wonders when they got close. Mia also thinks the same about it. Jay tells Minu to stop interrupting his studies. If he's done talking, then he can get out of his face. Minu turns away and apologizes for interrupting his damn studies. Minu leaves thinking that he gets under his skin. Jay, while studying, thinks about what Minu just said. He remembers his uncle gifting him a bike on his 13th birthday. He told him that studying was important, but he should also enjoy life a little. If he gets good enough, then they would even go on a biking trip. Soon the classes get over and students head home. Yuna stretches after the exhausting day and talks about wasting youth in the school. However, Mia encourages her to do these exams once. She thought that the days of a teen would be romantic, but it's just the same boring thing every day. Mia tries to calm Yuna down as she goes through a breakdown. She finally heeds into Mia's words and thinks that reality is depressing. Suddenly, Dom surprises them from behind and says they should watch this zombie movie together. However, Yuna punches him back and says he almost scared them. While Dom pukes out, Yuna tells him to quit stalking her. Dom, after getting hit, thinks that she's the girl for him. He chases them again, insisting that they watch it at his home on a TV. However, Yuna tells him to get lost. Jay also packs his bag and gets ready to leave. However, Minu enters the room and says he wants to talk about something. He tells Jay to give cycling a chance by joining their crew. There's a guy who wants to face him tonight. So, he's inviting him to join their biking match tonight. However, Jay gives him a straight no. He tells Minu to quit bothering him and keep playing with his little friends. Minu says that a guy named TJ was trash-talking about his bike before. He was saying that his bike is an old piece of crap. It doesn't bother him if he doesn't show up, but he hates people who think that bike specs are all that matter. As far as he can tell, he has been riding that bike for a pretty long time. He would love to see TJ's face if he destroys him in a race. They will be meeting tonight at the Green Park. He can decide if he wants to come. Later that night in the Green Park, some kids are showing stunts on a cycle. Minu is sitting on a bench while listening to some music. Suddenly, a person places a chill Red Bull on his face, and Minu suddenly jumps up. June tells Minu to chill out and have a drink. June asks if he's sure that Jay will come today. It has been quite a while. Minu replies that they can't do much except wait. June says that he's right. They will do a practice run if he doesn't show up. June asks why he's suddenly obsessed with Jay. However, Minu tells him to keep it down. People will get the wrong idea if he hears him. June then asks the reason for inviting him. Minu says that it's simple. He's riding that bike for a long time. He thought if Jay rode with them, it would be more fun for him. Soon, TJ shows up with his bike and asks where that kid is. He's quite late. Minu tells him to wait a bit more. TJ asks if that dork chickened out of it. However, Minu tells him not to be so cocky. If he's so anxious, then should they do a warm-up round? TJ asks if he can ride with his injured leg. He always wanted to rematch him though. Soon, Jay enters the park with his cycle, and the folks wonder if he's the same kid from yesterday. Minu stands up and says he wishes to race him and his carbon bike, but they will do it next time. TJ extends his hands and talks about how he wasn't going to show up today. However, Jay ignores him and moves past him. This act greatly annoys TJ. Jay reaches Minu, and Minu replies that he's glad he came here. Jay tells him to get him straight into the race as he's busy. Minu agrees and says that June will explain the rules. June greets him as his senior from the same school. Jay, on knowing him as senior, bows in respect. This greatly shocks Minu as he's always being a jerk to him. June says that he'll explain to him the race for today. The race will be one-on-one and the person who makes it back first wins the race. The track is simple, and he should know it as he's familiar with this place. In any case, they have put guys at each corner for safety and to make sure they stay on the route. The guy he'll be racing would be that nasty-looking mofo over there. Jay tells him not to bother him after this race. Minu agrees to his condition, and Juness hands him a helmet. Minu notices that he's taken the brakes off the cycle to lighten it. He believes that every little second matters in the race after all. Both Jay and TJ get on their cycle to race, and TJ mocks him to keep up with his carbon bike. Minu tells TJ to quit bragging and focus on the race. However, TJ tells him to shut up. He knows what he's doing. June puts on a camera on his head and says he would film them from behind. A member says that they will start racing as soon as this cog hits the ground. He extends his hand and tells them to get ready. As the cog clangs on the ground, both the racers begin racing. June, while following from behind, thinks that TJ has an advantage at the start as his bike is lighter. However, the real race will begin when they start pedaling and accelerating. It's not necessary that TJ will win because he has a good start. June steps up on the pedal so that he doesn't lag behind. TJ, while riding forward, mocks Jay's bike. He tells him to stare at his butts this whole race. Jay soon starts pedaling and begins gaining on TJ. TJ notices that he's catching up fast and plans to speed up more. He spots a traffic cone in front and thinks about a malicious plan. He swerves his cycle and knocks the cone out. The cone falls in front of Jay's cycle, and he quickly notices it. June wonders what that damn TJ is doing. Jay swiftly turns his cycle and avoids the cone. He quickly takes back control of the cycle's momentum, and June tells him to look ahead. Jay sees that he's about to ram into the car parked at the corner. However, Jay jumps onto the vehicle, rides over the top of it, and breaks out. This maneuver greatly surprises June and TJ. Soon enough, Jay starts his hunt again. June breathes a sigh of relief as Jay avoided a possible accident. He tells TJ to quit messing around. TJ apologizes and says that his foot slipped. He thinks that this punk is crazier than he thought. June thinks that TJ might get someone killed with his cheap tricks. He also thinks that Jay's tricks are insane. He can't believe he pulled a 360 flip in such a short time. He wished that the other guys could have seen that live. Jay starts pedaling faster and catches up to TJ again. He tells him to get over this stupid race quickly. After that, Jay starts going faster. TJ wonders if he's trying to psych him out. He suddenly notices a sharp turn ahead and sees Jay rushing forward. He calls him an idiot for accelerating on a sharp turn. He must have a death wish today. Jay accelerates more and starts drifting around the corner. Jay passes from the corner quickly while TJ lags behind him. TJ remains astonished at his skill. Even June is surprised to see Jay pull a drift around that corner. He has no idea where he learned to ride like that. He rides that bike as if it's an extension of his body part. As for TJ, he's struggling to catch up to Jay. He can't believe that he's lagging behind despite having a full carbon bike. Jay, while riding forward, points at his butt. He tells TJ to keep staring at his butts for the rest of the race. This greatly annoys TJ, and he steps up his pedaling. Jay waves at him and says that they will finish this in 4 minutes as he has to study. TJ tells him to not get cocky just because he's ahead. He hates these freaking sunny high pricks. TJ steps up his pedaling to chase after Jay. June hopes that everything is okay. Someone might get hurt if they keep at it. TJ tries to get past Jay, but Jay blocks him skillfully. TJ gets frustrated and says he'll take him at the downhill. As the downhill comes, both start speeding up. June asks if they have gone nuts and advises them to slow down. Can't they see the fence right at the bottom? They should slow down unless they want to get themselves killed. TJ gets obsessed with beating Jay and keeps accelerating. Jay, at the very end of the hill, skids his cycle skillfully. He kicks against the fence and bounces his leg off to change the direction. As for TJ, he thinks that he's getting out of control and is about to fall into the fence. He tries to apply brake, but he slams himself into the fence. June follows up from behind, asking if he's all right. Jay notices that TJ slammed into the fence and calls him a loser. Blood starts dripping from TJ's face after the incident. June worriedly asks if he's all right. However, TJ feels more annoyed than being injured. At the park, Minu is playing video games until they finish the race. A person notifies him that he sees someone coming. They see Jay coming first and wonder if TJ has lost. They can't believe that he lost to the new guy. Minu says that TJ was just big talk after all. He's happy he got his ass handed in. He always told him that the rider matters more than the bike. Jay stops in front of TJ, and people grow eager to check the video that June recorded. Jay takes off his helmet and reminds him about what he said before the race. He tosses him the helmet and pulls on his hoodie. He tells him not to bother him with this crap anymore in the school. After that, Jay starts riding back home. The teens think that he looked so badass right now. June and TJ soon show up, and June calls out to Minu. Minu asks what happened to TJ, and June urges them to bring in the first aid kit. The members wonder what happened to him, and if they should take him to the hospital. TJ's anger grows more, and talks about bringing Jay to him now. Jay soon reaches his home with his bike on his shoulder. Jay's brother, Kay, says that Mom is on a night shift and asks where he has been. He tells him to stop messing around, otherwise he won't be able to get into a good university. He advises him to grow up. He isn't a kid anymore. Suddenly, the TV says that the next episode will be Kitty Time, and Jay's brother rushes to watch it. He trips on the edge of the door and rolls on the ground in pain. He sees that the Kitty Time is on, and gets happy on seeing it. Jay leaves his brother and lets him watch the TV. He steps inside the bathroom and takes a shower. He goes through the memory of what happened in today's match. He senses a bit of strange feeling running in his veins that he never felt before. The next day, Jay gets ready for school and takes out his bike. He checks the tire and thinks that it got ruined from yesterday's race. Jay's brother comes out and asks if he'll ride that bike to the school. Jay agrees and hops on his cycle. Kay says that he's quite a bike freak. Jay stretches out while Kay says that he's wasting energy in the morning. He should put that energy into studying instead. Jay rides his cycle and says that he'll see him later. Kay adjusts his glasses and wonders when he'll grow up. He spots a kitten carrying food and gets excited. He starts chasing after the kitty, telling her to come back. Some people board the bus from the bus stop. Mia thinks that she almost missed the bus to school. The bus soon comes to a halt as the traffic piles up. At the same time, Jay is riding his bicycle. A man on the bus complains about the traffic and wishes that he could get a scooter or something. Mia wonders what those people are gossiping about. She doesn't understand them. Jay crosses the bus that Mia is traveling in, and she notices Jay cycling. Some people on the bus wonder how that kid is faster on the bike. The other says that he'll also come on a bike from tomorrow. Dom is also on his way to the school and complains about the traffic. His dad asks if he would like him to ram the cars ahead so they can move. Dom tells him not to do that and simply follow the rules. When he looks outside, he sees a student riding on a bike. He gets excited and says he wants it too. Alongside Jay, another person joins him on the cycle. The person is Jay's principal, and he asks how he has been. Jay greets him and the principal says that he's glad to see him in full energy in the morning. Jay asks if he often rides his bike to school. The principal agrees, saying that a man should always ride his bike to work. He also advises Jay to be cautious and safe rather than riding fast. Since bike riders like them aren't welcome on sidewalks or roads, so they have to be more careful. He says that people these days don't even leave the biking path free for them. He says that's enough talk and they should step it up a notch. After all, the principal and student president can't be late. At the school, some students are being punished by the security guard, while some greet him. A student named Lee rides his skateboard in style. He brushes past the security guard and says peace. The security guards pick him up and tell him not to peace him. He asks what's wrong with his hair. Did someone accidentally spill orange juice or something on it? Also, where is his school bag? Lee replies that he left them at school since he doesn't want to study. The guard gets annoyed with him when suddenly someone asks what's going here. The principal asks why this noise is coming in the morning. The security guard cheers up and says that he was reinforcing the school dress code. The principal says that this isn't a good way to start the day. He tells them to get to their class and stop ruining the school's image. The students reply that they will do their best and make the school look as cool as possible. They run off, saying they are finally free. Lee notices some girls walking around and wonders when they have girls like them here. He greets them as ladies and requests to have lunch with them as he's alone. The girl calls him adorable and tells him to come to the cafeteria. The guard says that he's causing trouble once again, and the principal says that he's just enjoying his youth. The guard says that they have a morning assembly today, and the principal says that he'll just text everyone instead. This greatly surprises the guard. In the classroom, some students are having fun, while some feel bored with the same crap each day. The principal sends a message, greeting the students for today's assembly. Yuna says that the principal has quite a style for this. She asks Mia what she's doing. As for Mia, she's daydreaming about being close to Jay. Yuna asks if she's in love with Jay. Suddenly Dom shows up and greets Yuna. However, Yuna throws a book at him, calling him a band-aid loser. Dom thinks that this must be her way of showing how much she likes him. Jay walks down the hallway while reading a book. He brushes past Minu, who's surrounded by girls. Minu calls him out and congratulates him on a good job yesterday. He kicked TJ's ass pretty nicely. The girl asks Minu how he knows the student president, and he replies he just happens to know him. In the classroom, half of the students are sleeping during the lecture. Dom is also among them, with his drool all over the notebook. As soon as the clock hits 12:30 p.m., the students go for lunch break. Dom sits next to Yuna for lunch, but she punches him instead. The classes resume, and Dom is once again sleeping. Mia looks at her crush Jay, and quickly turns back in embarrassment when he notices her. The school gets over and some students talk about watching Breaking Bad series today. Dom is walking back home and wonders what was taught in the school today. He notices that Jay has a cycle, and asks if he could try it for a second. However, Jay ignores him and cycles away. Dom shows him the middle finger and tells him to keep that arrogant attitude. His ears buzz up as soon as he hears Yuna's voice. Dom walks beside them and says that she'll forever be the Wi-Fi network of his life. Yuna curses in anger, wondering what sins she has committed to deserve this. Dom asks if he looks smooth and shiny today. Yuna says that his face isn't shiny but has drool all over it. Dom tells her to quit pretending she doesn't like him. He says, this is his secret to look good. Yuna kicks him in the leg and tells him to shut up. Jay is riding back home when he notices that he has a flat tire. He thinks that this happened because of racing hard yesterday. TJ comes in and asks if he wants him to fix that piece of crap for him. After school, Dom is walking back home and thinks that Yuna gave her lots of love today. He wonders if relationships are always so hard on the mind and body. Anyway, he slept too much today, and now he should head back to his job. He notices that some goons are ganging up on Jay, and he gets serious. TJ asks if he had a nice sleep yesterday. He was pissed that he lost the race and couldn't sleep because of his forehead. However, Jay asks who they are even. This annoys TJ and he asks if he thinks of himself as a hotshot. He kicks Jay's cycle and it falls on the ground. TJ says that he humiliated him in front of his crew with that shit and now he's ignoring him. Jay lands a punch at him in anger. However, Jay's punch is weak and it only scratches TJ. TJ gets angry and asks how he dared to punch him. His friends say that the student president must have gone nuts. They start beating Jay, asking if this feels good now. They crush his glasses and beat Jay very badly. TJ asks how he'll go to school tomorrow now as his face is messed up. He should remember his face now. Jay replies that he doesn't know who he is and what he wants. So, he should just screw off from here. TJ asks if that's the case, then he'll have to beat him till his senses come back. He grabs his shirt and says he'll start with his filthy mouth. Dom steps up and tells them to cut it out. TJ gets up and asks who this dork is. Dom asks if they think they are tough when taking someone 3-1. He was starting to get bored and asks if he could join as well. TJ says that he's inviting him to get beaten and shouldn't blame him later. TJ's friend tells him to stop. They suggest they let this go. His other friend whispers that this guy is dangerous. TJ gets freaked out after hearing about his sins. TJ leaves the place and says he can't stand these losers. He should thank his friend for saving his ass today. He tells his boys to leave while Dom asks where they are going. Dom thinks that those idiots must have sensed the power he holds and ran off. He extends his hand to Jay and asks if he's okay. However, Jay says that he's fine, and he should just forget about him. Dom gets annoyed and wonders why everyone is acting like that in front of him. At the same time, Minu is walking back home with some girls. TJ walks past him and makes fun of him for being a spoiled son. He calls them as sunny high losers, and the girl wonders what their problem is. Minu notices Jay in front and tells the girl to head without him. He just remembered something important, so he has to go. The girl becomes slightly annoyed and asks what came all of a sudden. Dom says that his bike is trashed and he's a mess. Is he sure that he can walk back home? Minu shows up and asks Jay what happened to his face. Did he get into a fight? Dom says that those mountain-high kids were beating him up, so he came and stopped them. Minu wonders if it was the guy TJ. He believes he must be after revenge for losing the race yesterday. Jay asks if he enjoyed the show. Now they should get going and leave him alone. Minu apologizes and says that he didn't mean to get involved in this. Jay tells him to forget it. He should never mention his crew again to him. Minu suggests that they at least get him to a pharmacy and treat his cuts. However, Jay tells them to get lost. Minu asks what's wrong with him. He could at least walk him home. Once again, Jay tells them to stay out of his life. Dom thinks that he's being too stubborn here. He steps up and smacks Jay on the back. Dom says that he didn't hit him that hard, and Minu asks if he has gone crazy. Who the hell hits a guy who has already been hurt? He thought they were blabbering a lot, so he just shut their mouth. He picks up Jay and says he'll walk him home. He tells Minu to carry his bike. Minu asks where they are heading then, and Dom replies that he doesn't know. Minu asks if he knows where Jay lives, but he doesn't know that. Minu asks if he was out of his damn mind back then. Why did he knock out Jay then? Both Minu and Dom take him to the pharmacy first. Minu purchases the medicine and wonders what they should do with Jay next. On the other hand, Jay's brother is walking back home. He thinks about heading home and then going for a tutoring lesson. He notices a person collapsed on the ground and wonders if they are bullies from the Sunny High. He notices the victim and thinks that his face looks familiar. He soon realizes that it's his brother, and he shouts out his name. Dom and Minu notice someone calling Jay's name. Dom asks if he is talking about this knocked-out boy, and Minu believes it as well. Kay wonders what he should do now. Those punks are staring at him. He believes he would be screwed if they catch him as well. He doesn't want to get his ass kicked like that. Dom calls out to him and asks if they are related to each other. Kay starts walking and says that he doesn't have any idea. Dom wonders if he was calling someone else. Minu asks if doesn't he remind them of someone. He has the same annoying look and way of talking. They find his face similar to Jay's and wonder if he's his brother. Kay, while whistling, starts speeding up. They both get annoyed and ask why he's trying to act calm while running like that. They start chasing him, telling him to stop. They finally catch up to Kay and ask why he was ditching his brother. Kay replies that he needs to look out for himself. Dom thinks that he's selfish like his big bro, and Minu wonders if this thing runs in their family. Kay says that Jay is now picking up fights and making a couple of loser friends. How pathetic. Soon enough, they reach the home. Dom applies bandages and antiseptic on Jay's face. He says that he has done everything, and the rest depends on the patient. Minu pats him on doing a great job, and Kay wonders who these idiots are. Minu asks why he's wearing a band-aid under his nose. Is he trying to act cool? Dom replies that it's his little secret. Minu rips off the band-aid and says that the secret can go to hell. Minu remains shocked after seeing it, and says that the principal will scold him a lot if he finds it out. Minu asks if there's anybody else at home. Kay replies that his parents aren't at home very often, and Minu thinks that this place is similar to his. He sees that Jay's room has books everywhere, and thinks that he has such a boring life. Minu asks why he's still glaring at them. Kay says that he wants to see if they lied about being his brother's friend and plan to steal something. He can't believe that Jay has friends. Minu thinks that Jay's brother is just like him. It makes him want to punch him in the face. Dom looks at a photo frame and wonders if this is Jay's bike in this. Minu peeks in and asks, whose photo is this? They see the picture and wonder if this is Jay's brother in the photo. However, Kay corrects them and says it's Jay in the picture. Minu now has more questions about Jay, since when he was riding and why he showed up yesterday. Dom asks what he's mumbling about. He notices Minu carefully and starts seeing Yuna in him. He wonders if he's tripping or something. He believes he must have been lonely lately. Yuna and Minu are siblings, but Dom doesn't know about it. Minu looks at the man in the photo and thinks that he looks similar. Jay gets up and asks what they are doing in his house. Minu asks if he's finally awake, Mr. President. Jay gets up and quickly snatches away the photo frame from them. He tells them to keep their grubby hands away from his stuff and get out of his house. Minu shows him his face and says they brought him here and took care of him. Dom says that he doesn't need to thank them. This much is nothing for a classmate. Jay gets annoyed and rips off the bandages. Dom cries over his hard work and Jay tells them to leave. He isn't in the mood to argue. Dom pats his shoulder and asks if he's going to send them just like this. They came all the way here while carrying him, and Jay replies they are not friends. They get excited about checking his computer. They want to see what kind of nude pics he has on his desktop and what type of girls their student president likes. Jay tells them not to touch his computer, and they say he must be hiding something. They open the computer and see videos of study lectures. Dom gets grossed by it. He can't believe how he's still alive. Minu agrees, saying that he's a computer nerd as well. Dom says that he'll show them a dark path to a whole new world. They should be happy that they met him. Minu calls him a master and requests him to show them some good stuff. However, Jay tells them to get off the computer. Kay thinks that he already wasted a lot of time because of those idiots, and now he's a bit late. Dom finally downloads a video named Blue Sky. He tells them to get ready to see the good stuff. Kay grabs the knob and wonders why they all went so quiet. All three of them watch a sexy video and get turned on. Kay's nose bleeds as he tastes a new world of sweet pleasure. Thus, in the silence of Jay's room, they all became adults. They get excited after watching the video. Dom says that he should get back to work, and Kay says he should go to classes. Jay sits in front of his computer and thinks that those idiots downloaded crap on his computer. He proceeds to delete the video but hesitates a bit. He looks around and opens the video for the final time. His brother comes in to say something, but hears some sexy sounds from the video. Later, Dom and Minu are walking back. Minu says that the video was sweet, and Dom asks if he would like to see the site. They clap hands for their shared bromance and say that they should hang out more often. Dom says that he's heading to work, and they will see him at the school. They part ways, and Minu wonders if he works part-time after school. Minu takes out his phone and thinks he should end things properly today. He tells his boys to gather at the park. They will be having an emergency meeting tonight. They should make sure that TJ and Mountain High come especially. The people soon gather at the designated spot and wonder what came up so urgent. TJ comes in and tells the losers to complain in front of Minu instead of whining here. They ask TJ if something happened between them, and he replies he doesn't know. June says that there must be a reason as to why he called an emergency meeting. TJ mocks him, telling him to suck up to his little Sunny High pal. Soon enough, Minu arrives at the park, and the people notice that he's pissed off. TJ calls him a rich little prince for coming late. Minu takes off the ring he's wearing and the people wonder what he's trying to do. Minu goes straight for a punch on TJ's face. TJ, after being punched, gets up and spits out blood. His friends help him up, and they ask if he has gone nuts. June also asks the reason for his action. He needs to explain what happened. Minu tells him to stop giving their crew a bad name. Also, it would be better if he left this crew. The people wonder what he's talking about. Is he making TJ and the Mountain High guys quit? TJ asks what he's talking about. Minu tells him not to play dumb. He beat up the guy whom he raced yesterday and lost. TJ asks if he's referring to that student president. He says that he was the one who hit him first, just like he did now. Also, instead of him, he should be leaving this crew. June sighs and thinks that this is messed up. TJ says that the guys in the crew seem to be more unhappy with him. He tells them not to just stand idle and complain in front. A person steps up and nervously says that he didn't like he called them without any notice. Another person says that the school president isn't a crew member, so maybe he started the fight. They can't force some guys to leave without asking others first. They question if Minu assembled them here just to kick TJ out officially. TJ says that the tides are in his favor. What will he do now? He hasn't been riding lately because of his busted leg. Another person says that he flirts with chicks all day, and that he should start a little club at school. With all the money he has got, he won't have trouble to start another group. June steps up and tells them to stop. They should think before speaking crap. Minu says that they will have a race then. Whoever wins will stay and the loser will have to leave. TJ says that he's fine with that condition, but can he pedal with that leg? Minu replies that he can beat him with one leg with no sweat. TJ says that they'll do a 3 versus 3 in that case. Whoever loses will have to leave the crew fair and square. Minu says that he'll happily take all 3 of them. June says that he'll join in too. Minu asks what he's doing, but June says that he can't handle them alone with his bad leg. TJ says that it will be a race against Sunny High and Mountain High then. He asks if anyone would like to volunteer for the Sunny High team, as they are missing one person. The people gossip that it's better to sit out on this one, rather than risk leaving the crew. June says that they don't need another member. They'll do it just like this. TJ agrees to the condition, and says they will do a 2 versus 3 then. The scene shifts to a dragon asking about their wish. The boy replies that he wants a perfect physique like Chris Hemsworth. The dragon gives him a mushroom. If he eats it, then his dream will come true. The boy eats the mushroom, and his body starts transforming. After the transformation, the girls look at him in admiration. They think he's tall, has a balanced figure, and a confident strut. They want to own that guy. The girls huddle him, asking if he has a girlfriend, or if they can have his number. The boy tells a girl that it will cost her a heartbeat per digit. She pulls him in the chest and tells him to hear her heartbeat as long as he likes. Other girls also line up for their number. The boy soon wakes up from his dream when someone places a milk packet on his desk. The girl asks what he was dreaming about. He looked pretty happy. The boy replies that he had many girls pressing his head against their chest in the dream. He thanks her for the milk nonetheless. After gulping down the milk, he feels elated and growing. His friend puts his arm around him and tells him to have lunch at the cafeteria together. The boy curses him for making him spill all the tasty milk. His friend starts kissing him, and the girl thinks they are having some serious bromance. Behind them, June asks what they will do now. Minu says that it's obvious. They will win and kick them all out. June asks how they will win with his bad leg. Minu tells him not to worry as the doctor said that a bit of biking would speed up recovery. June replies that it will take more than a bit of biking to win. On top of that, doing a 2 versus 3 puts them at a disadvantage. He tells Minu to invite Jay to help them out. He's the one responsible for this, so he should at least help them out. However, Minu replies that they don't need his help. He doesn't want to get him involved in their crew business anymore. He tells June to take it easy. They will surely win this race. On the other hand, Jay is focusing on his studies. Mia comes in and places a Band-Aid kit on his desk. She blushingly says that this is for his cut. However, Jay replies that he didn't ask her to get him anything. Yuna slams the table and asks what's the meaning of this. Can't he say things politely when a girl is showing interest in him? She was worried, as she saw a cut on his face this morning. She even ran to the pharmacy. Mia shuts Yuna's mouth from embarrassing her further. Dom pats Jay on the back and asks if he slept well last night. He hopes he didn't stay up late. Yuna asks how they know each other. Dom says that they bonded over a computer screen yesterday. Yuna wonders what he's talking about, and Mia guesses they did something with the computer screen. A student calls out to Jay and says that a third year is calling him. Jay gets up and Dom says that he's getting popular. Dom approaches Yuna and asks if they should bond together. However, Yuna picks him up and slams him into the ground. The third-year student, June, is standing outside, waiting for Jay. Some girls get impressed after seeing a handsome boy, and June says hello to them. They go past him, whispering that he's not into girls. June becomes sad and thinks it's not like that. Jay soon comes out, and June looks at his bruised face. He thinks that this was why Minu hit TJ yesterday. They both stare at each other, and June wonders if he doesn't remember him. He wonders if he has some face recognition disability. June gives him a detailed explanation, and he remembers he's the guy from before. June says that he has a favor to ask. He says that Minu stirred up a mess after his face got bruised by TJ. He said he didn't want to get him involved in this stuff anymore. June asks if he could help them tonight in a race against Mountain Highs. However, Jay says that he doesn't have anything to do with his crew. June says that he knows he's a bit selfish, but if they lose today, then Minu will get kicked out of his crew. Jay asks why he should be concerned about what happens to him. He has heard enough. Before Jay leaves, June says that they will meet in the same park at 8 tonight. If he changes his mind, then he can come there. He apologizes for taking up his break time. The people soon gather for the race in the evening. They wonder who will win today. Minu gets ready and says it's almost time. June checks his watch and sees that it's already past 8. He wonders if Jay won't come today. He puts on his helmet and thinks they must do it without him. Both teams get ready, and the audience believes that it will be intense. June inspects TJ's bike and feels that he now has brakes and changed the front wheel as well. TJ, being cocky, mocks Minu. He tells him not to overdo it unless he wants to get his both legs messed up. Minu tells him to shut up and just focus on the race. A boy says that they will start now. Before he starts, he'll go over the rules. Suddenly, a girl comes on her bike and tells them to wait. She takes off her helmet and thinks that she made it in time. She introduces herself as Harry. She's a biking show commentator on a YouTube channel. She heard they were racing tonight, so she rushed here. The guys get blushed after seeing a girl interested in biking. She asks if it would be okay to broadcast the race today. Minu gives her a thumbs up and says that it will be an honor. TJ smirks and thinks that he will now humiliate Minu online as well. She puts on her earphones and sees that everything is working perfectly. She starts the stream and asks the viewers if they can hear her well. The boy clears his throat and says that he'll explain the rules. Today they will be having a relay race. It's like a normal relay where they hand the baton off to a runner and run around the track. Instead of batons, they will be using LED armbands. If they apply force, it will wrap around their arm. The runners will be standing at the designated spots. The first team to hand off the armband and make it back will be the winner. As they decided before, the losing team will be kicked out of the crew. He asks Minu again if he still wishes to compete. He says that they are at a disadvantage because they are one member short. Minu tells him to quit worrying about it. It doesn't matter to him whether it's 3-on-2 or 4-on-2, they will win this. The boy says that everything is now settled. Until the race is over, no one can complain that it's unfair. He tells the respective team to put on an armband. Minu tells him not to bust his head open this time, and TJ wishes him luck to ride with one leg. Harry says that she'll stream the race between the two teams. TJ puts on his helmet and thinks that he'll show them this time. The first runner is Hyung for the Mountain High. Minu tells June to handle him with his road bike. The first part of the course has a lot of curves, so he'll have an advantage over his fixed bike. June asks if he's sure that he can handle two racers with his one leg. Minu says that he'll beat TJ and Mountain High at all costs. June agrees with his strategy and says he'll handle Hyung. June suggests him not to force himself too much. The first runners soon reach the starting line. Harry gets ready with her streaming phone over her head. The boy says that the race will start when the cog hits the ground. Once the cog hits, they begin racing. The Mountain High team gets ahead first. Harry follows them from behind and says that they are going around 26 miles per hour. Currently, Mountain High is in the lead. The members watch the stream and think that Hyung is doing a good job. Hyung asks if that's all he got. June follows Hyung close by on every turn. Hyung wonders why he's right on his ass. He thinks about creating some distance between them. He starts pedaling faster and June starts falling behind. However, June does his best to keep up with him. Young wonders why he isn't backing off. He feels more pressure the faster he goes. He wonders if he's pulling a slipstream on him. Slipstream is a wind-breaking technique used to reduce air resistance. The person in the front blocks the wind resistance, making it easier for the person riding behind. Harry thinks that it's not bad for a high school race. The members have mixed feelings if Hyung will pull it off. Hyung thinks that he can't let June use him like this. If he makes it past the hill, then they'll win. June breaks forward and thanks him for the windbreak. June thinks that now all of this comes down to muscle power. June changes his gear and increases his speed. Harry says that the Sunny High with the red band has taken the lead. He overtook the Mountain High in the uphill course. The viewers say that June's strategy was awesome. Young wonders how he's going so fast on that uphill. The next bikers get ready for the race. Minu says that they are getting close, and now he'll show them all. Jiwon asks, how is he sure who will come first? Minu asks if he believes that Hyung will outrun June. Minu says that he has reached here. June pedals the uphill and gets happy after seeing Minu. He passes the armband on to Minu and wishes him luck. Then Minu takes off in speed. Harry says that Sunny High's second runner is racing ahead. A boy while watching the race thinks that he doesn't need to see it whole if Minu can keep this lead. Harry, while following Minu, says that the Sunny High racer is stepping up his pedaling. He'll soon enter the last third course of the race. The viewers think that Minu is pedaling faster, while some say that Mountain High guys are getting owned. June relaxes a bit with a drink after the race. He hopes Minu doesn't hurt himself while finishing the race. He remembers the previous incident which injured him badly. Minu thinks that he needs to go a little bit more. He can't lose to TJ and get kicked out. TJ waits annoyingly and wonders where his team member is. Some people tell TJ that he might lose this one. The Sunny High is currently in the lead. TJ tells them to piss off. Are they feeling happy after getting beat up? They see that Minu is here. Minu rides forward while TJ waits annoyingly. The folks from before think that Minu is a beast. TJ wonders where his loser team is and what's taking them so long. His team member soon shows up and says that he's coming as fast as he can. Minu, while racing forward, suddenly sees a cat in front. Minu presses on the brakes hard and feels that he messed up his leg again. He soon falls from his bike and hits the ground hard. Harry wonders if he just fell off. The viewers also wonder what happened to Minu. He was doing so well. June can't believe that he fell over. Minu lays on the ground injured and looks at his hand. Harry says that she'll cut the stream because of a sudden accident. The stream soon cuts, and the viewers think that this sucks. A boy wonders if this is how things will end for Sunny High. June straps his helmet back again and thinks that Minu shouldn't have raced with that leg. TJ, unaware of the situation, is pedaling fast. He soon sees that Minu has fallen from his bike and Harry has stopped by him. TJ laughs maniacally, calling him a limp ass. He knew this would have happened to him. He rides freely, feeling lucky as hell. Harry looms over Minu and asks if he's all right. Suddenly Jay shows up and asks what he's doing on the ground like a wuss. Minu tells him to quit staring at him like that and get lost. Jay takes the band from Minu and straps it onto his arm. At Jay's home, he left a note for his little bro to eat dinner without him. Kay wonders when his big bro will grow up. Jay says that he heard the course and race rules from June. He's only here to take revenge against those punks for what they did to him before. Minu gives him his helmet and Jay catches it. He tells Jay to give them hell. Jay asks if he has to put this on. It smells like his armpit. Minu says that it smells better, and he should stop being a jerk. Harry looks at Jay's bike and can't believe that he'll ride on it. As for TJ, he's enjoying while riding forward. He says that this will be the last time when Minu will act cocky again. He shouldn't have raced him with that limp leg. Minu, in his mind, wishes TJ his best as a monster is coming after him. When TJ looks back, he sees Jay cycling. He freaks out and wonders where he came from. He starts pedaling faster and thinks that those Sunny High morons didn't mention he would race. He feels that Jay is charging forward like a bull. He has come too far and can't lose here. He thinks that there's a downhill after this. He believes Jay won't be able to get through the last U-shaped curve without braking this time. All he needs to do is pass him in the downhill and he'll be victorious. TJ soon reaches the downhill section with Jay following close by. As he goes through it, the painful memory of hitting the fence comes to his mind. He applies his brake and Jay takes him over. TJ wonders if he has gone crazy. Jay uses the rock wall technique on the downhill, and TJ can't believe it. Rock wall is a trick that allows one to do a 180-degree turn with the front wheel as the axis. Jay reverses his bicycle, and TJ wonders if he has gone crazy. Who in the world would try such a risky move on the downhill? Jay suddenly comes to a stop and stands in TJ's way. TJ tells him to move his ass unless he wants to get both of them killed. However, Jay doesn't budge from his position, and TJ has to apply brakes. TJ manages to stop the bike narrowly, and his cycle hits Jay's front wheel. TJ asks if he has gone crazy. Jay replies that it's his fault that he kicked his bike before. TJ wonders what this mofo is yapping about. Jay says that they will settle the score here. They will see whose bike is faster, his carbon bike, or his metal scrap as he called it. TJ asks if he's giving him a challenge. If that's the case, then he'll accept it. Jay says that they'll have an all-out run on the straightaway. Whoever finishes first will be the real winner. He would like to see just how fast that expensive carbon bike can go. If his lightweight bike loses to his so-called hunk of junk, then he shouldn't blame the bike, but blame himself. TJ gets super angry and says, "Let's see who will lose then." They soon position themselves on the straight path for the race. They both start racing, and TJ gets the upper hand because of his lightweight bike. Jay bends below to reduce the air drag and starts pedaling faster. He takes over TJ once again, and TJ can't believe that he's losing to that jerk. Minu soon reaches back the park along with June. His team members wonder if he's all right. Minu apologizes for not giving his best and says his leg hasn't recovered fully from before. June sighs and says that he shouldn't have pushed himself too hard. Harry says that he's lucky he didn't get hurt after falling at such a high speed. The Mountain High says that they have beaten them. The other boy thanks Minu for delivering the win to them. They soon see someone coming from the Sunny High team with the red band, and wonder who that person is. Jay is cycling forward, and TJ feels annoyed to his very bones. He can't understand why his bike is losing to that crap. The people find that the person is Jay, the student president, and he won against TJ. The Mountain High folks complain that they cheated. They ask from where he came. Jay opens his jacket and lets off the steam. TJ curses him after losing. Jay says that he's the hunk of junk, not his bike. He should practice some basic pedaling before taking him on. TJ gets annoyed and asks what he's talking about. The referee blocks TJ from going any further. The people have more questions as this Jay guy isn't from their crew, and if this is Sunny High's win. The referee asks why was another team member added in between the race. Having someone who's not involved in their crew isn't fair. He asks Minu if that's what he said before the race. He said that it would be 3-on-2, and that the result would be final. The moment he fell from his bike, the race was over for Sunny High. Minu replies that he doesn't need to analyze those things for him. He grabs the badge and says he'll stop complicating things any further. He rips off the badge and says he'll leave the crew. Minu says that they shouldn't have any complaints now. Since he's leaving, they should take care of his crew. The Mountain High morons smirk on seeing him leave. June puts his arm around Minu and says that he did well. Minu apologizes that he too got kicked because of him. June says that it's okay. He joined the crew because of him. If he isn't in the crew, then what point does it make to be there? Jay calls out to Minu and tosses him his helmet. Minu thanks him for riding together today, and Jay silently puts on his hoodie. He starts leaving, and Minu thinks that he's still the same prick. June and Minu also leave the place. June asks if he's all right, and Minu replies that his leg hurts a lot. He teases June to prepare for his entrance exam now, and June gets annoyed. The Mountain High morons say that they should celebrate the victory with some burgers and drinks. They ask TJ if he's coming, but he doesn't respond. Deep down, TJ feels that he didn't win the race. Somebody calls out to TJ as Mamushi Boy. TJ asks who is stirring troubles now. However, he becomes like a scared cat when he sees Vinny. Vinny asks what will he do? Is he going to hit him? TJ nervously asks what he's doing here, and Vinny asks if there's something wrong with him being here. TJ says that wasn't what he meant. Vinny says that he saw the live broadcast and sees that Minu is riding once again. The boy replies that Minu is nothing now. They lost in the race today and got kicked out. Vinny asks if that cat is gone, so little mice like them have come out to play. However, the trio replies that's not the case. Vinny says that their crew is a piece of crap. Vinny leaves and thinks that Minu is still actively riding. He thinks about busting his other leg too for good. Vinny says that he's leaving the crew and they can play on their own. TJ wonders what kind of crap he's trying to stir up now. Minu soon reaches his luxurious home. He feels like Steve Jobs today after getting kicked out of his own crew. If it weren't for his damn leg, he would have won. Minu's parents also reach the home at the same time. Minu wishes his dad a good evening, and he asks what's wrong with his face. He was supposed to be studying. What is he doing that he keeps getting injured? Minu's stepmom tries to calm him down, saying that Minu is still in his teens. She gets worried and asks how he got that cut on his face. She approaches towards him and asks if he fell off his bike while riding. They need to treat it. However, Minu tells her to get her filthy hand away from him. Minu's father slaps him and asks if he has gone crazy. How could he talk to his mother like that? He's the oldest son and is supposed to set an example for his siblings. Minu says that all of that could go into crap. Does he think that this woman really likes him? She's just after the money because mom isn't here. The father gets annoyed and asks how he dared to say that. He's the one who uses his money and buys crap like stupid bikes. Isn't he the one who is using his father for money? He should better hand over his credit card and wallet. Minu drops the wallet and credit card as he said. He says that he doesn't need his money. He tells him to go and live a happy life with that gold digger. Minu's father curses him and the driver tries to calm him down. His father tells him not to think about entering his house. Yuna curls up in her bed and thinks that all of this is her fault. Later, Minu sits on a bench along with his bicycle parked near him. He checks his phone and thinks that he can't ask anyone for help. He doesn't have a penny to his name and got kicked out of his crew and house. He considers himself damn unlucky. He sees a family having a great time, and it reminds him of his childhood. Their family had a total of 5 members and he was the eldest son. They were so happy at that time. He cries a lot and wonders when all of this happened. Beside Minu, Jay appears and grabs a Red Bull from the vending machine. Minu looks shocked at finding him here. Jay asks if he's crying like a baby because he lost. Minu replies that he wasn't crying. Jay says whatever and continues slurping his drink while heading back home. Minu stops him and asks if he can stay with him tonight. However, Jay ignores him and walks away. Minu follows him along and tries to persuade him to stay at his home for one night. However, Jay ignores him and says that it's his problem. Minu says that he's being too cold-hearted. Can he help him out just one time? Jay says that he has to study, so he should ask another friend. Minu says that he would like to, but he doesn't have anyone else he can ask. Jay says that he isn't someone he can ask either. Jay closes the door, and Minu says that they were never close at school either. Soon enough, rain began pouring and Minu takes covers inside a shed. He remembers people trying to befriend him because his dad owned a big company. They asked him if he would like to hang out with them. All of them put on fake smiles and calculated kindness. So he, too, put on his own mask. His dad always told him that living among fakement is also part of life. So, he always hid his true self behind countless masks. Every time he took off the mask, he felt alone. When he was little, he managed to get a bike somehow. That was the only moment when he escaped his loneliness. He then created a cycling crew that simply loved biking, but now he lost that as well. Minu soon gets drenched in the rain. He also sees a little kitty trembling in the rain. He thinks that he has seen this cat before. He remembers that she's the same cat that got in his way on the racetrack. He thinks that if it weren't for this damned cat, he would have won. The cat limps forward, and he notices that its leg is hurt. He thinks that blaming her now won't change things. He pulls out a chocolate and asks if she wants to eat this. The cat eats the chocolate, and Minu thinks that it wasn't able to get out of the way because her leg was hurt. He lifts the cat and asks if she's also alone, and the cat replies yes, in her tone. Later, Jay's brother is walking back. He notices that someone is camping outside their house. He checks who the person is and recognizes him as one of the trio that came here earlier. He wonders why he's out in the rain by himself. Minu also notices him and asks if he's Kay. Kay notices that he's holding a kitty in his arms and ignores whatever Minu says. As for Jay, he's studying in his room but gets sidetracked a bit. He sighs and gets up from his seat. He takes an umbrella and thinks about taking Minu in. Kay soon comes inside the house and asks where he's going. Kay realizes he must be going for his friends. He says he was shivering in the rain, so he brought his friend in. He couldn't just walk by on someone like him. Minu starts liking the kid as he's showing some concern for him. Kay says that he was worried about the kitty. He only brought him here because he was with the cat. Minu gets annoyed with Kay and thinks it's his fault for expecting too much from him. Kay rushes to the bathroom with the kitty. He says that he'll clean her first, and then take care of her cut. Minu says that he'll leave as soon as the rain stops. Jay throws a towel at him, points towards the bathroom, and tells him to take a shower. He's only allowing him for today. Jay and his brother quarrel over why that sketchy dude will sleep in their house. Minu comes out of the shower and feels good. He looks at the fridge and thinks about eating something. He shouts that he's starving and he'll help himself with some food. He rummages through the fridge to find something. At the same time, Jay's mom arrives at the home. She asks what a bike is doing outside. However, she gets shocked when she sees a stranger in the house, and that too, taking things from their fridge. Soon, Jay's mom orders fried chicken for Minu. Minu eats the chicken happily, and says that this is his favorite. Jay's mom is happy to see Minu. She heard that he's the son of Tichong Group CEO. She asks Jay how he met such an amazing friend. However, Jay replies that he isn't his friend. Kay says that she said that making friends is useless. So why is she saying that now? She shoves a chicken in his mouth and tells him to finish it and go back to his studies. Also, he has an exam soon, so he should study instead of eating chicken. Suddenly, she hears the meowing of a cat and wonders where that cat came from. Kay points at Minu and says that he brought her in. Kay rushes to Kitty, calling her Jack. Jay and Minu think that that idiot already named the cat. Jay's mother says that it's all right. He can give the cat back to Minu once he leaves. She also asks what happened to their face. Are they getting into some sort of fight recently? Jay gulps down his drink nervously, and Minu replies that they had a little argument with some dudes from another school. She asks which school and who those damn kids are. Minu replies that he doesn't know as they were wearing normal clothes. She advises them to not take beating like an idiot. Those brats need to be dragged to the police station to scare some sense into them. Minu says that won't happen again. She doesn't have to worry. Jay leaves and thanks them for the dinner. His mother stops him and says that his grades have been slipping recently. If this keeps up, then he won't be able to see his bike again. Jay understands it and leaves soon after. After dinner, Minu peeks through Jay's room and asks if he's watching porn again. He sees that Jay's studying and enters inside. He slumps down on his bed and feels great. He tells Jay how much his life sucks. Being best at the school isn't everything. He still envies that he has a mom to nag him around like that. Jay nudges Minu to get out of his bed. Minu says that he can't sleep without a bed. He suggests sleeping together. However, Jay throws a pillow on his face. He then makes a bed for himself on the floor. Minu tells Jay that he started riding after seeing a kid having fun by himself on the bike. He suddenly remembers something and asks if they should make a new biking crew. He can join it too since he likes riding. However, Jay tells him to shut up and go to sleep. Minu says that he's always like that. He should try to be positive for at least once. He turns around and says that he'll stay here for a few more days. Jay suddenly jolts up with a shock and asks if he's serious. Minu replies that his mom said that he could stay a bit longer. Jay curses Minu, calling him a goddamn street bum. Minu checks his phone and sees that Yuna has messaged him. She asks where he's staying and he replies he's at Jay's house. He asks her if she could bring some clothes and uniform tomorrow, and she agrees. She asks for his address, and he sends it. In the morning, Minu wakes up after hearing some sounds of chopping board. He gets out of his room and smells something good. He sees Jay cooking some food. Jay says that his mom left early in the morning for work. Minu almost chokes on seeing him wearing a funny apron. He can't stop laughing and asks if he's doing a cosplay or something. Jay replies that the only thing funny is his hair right now. Minu pulls out his phone and clicks his photo. He says he'll post this on Facebook and Jay gets annoyed. He asks where his brother is and Jay replies that he's playing with Jack in the yard. Minu thinks that he's also an early bird like his brother. He sees that Jay's preparing an epic breakfast because he's a guest here. Minu, while licking the spoon, says that he didn't have to go through all that trouble. However, Jay goes past him, and Minu's dreams shatter. He asks if the food isn't for him, and Jay replies that it's for the cat. If he wants a breakfast, then he could make his own. Minu asks how could he treat a guest like that, but Jay says that he's just a forced invite. Outside, Kay wonders what those morons are taking so long for. The scene shifts to the school principal getting dressed up. His phone rings and he wonders who could it be early in the morning. A girl named Shelly, who's his granddaughter, says it's her. She says she wants to come to Korea. He becomes glad and tells her to hurry up. He can't wait to see his precious granddaughter. She says that she'll call him later when she reaches there. She wonders how many years it has been since she went to Korea. The scene shifts to Minu fixing his bike. He hears a car honking and goes outside. He sees Yuna, and she asks what he's doing here. Minu replies that he was just fixing his bike because it got rained on yesterday. Yuna sighs and gives him the bag. She has put in his clothes and other stuff. Now, he should better come back home as she'll handle Dad. She's also surprised how he stayed at Jay's house. Is he nice to him? Minu replies that things just worked out. He's kind of grumpy, but it's manageable. She asks if he would like to have a ride to school, but Minu replies that he would just ride his bike to school. She gets in the car and says she'll see him later. Kay comes from behind and asks if she's her girlfriend. However, Minu replies that he's her sister. How could someone think that he has such an ugly girlfriend? He suddenly realizes that he was talking to Kay and asks how long he was standing there. Kay says that he should have known that a bum sleeping at their place couldn't have a girlfriend. It was stupid to even ask it. Minu thinks that he would have beaten the shit out of him if he was his brother. Kay says that he's going to school and tells Jack to keep an eye on the house. Jay and Minu soon get prepared for the school. Minu asks if won't he ride his bike to school today. Jay replies that he isn't sure. But why is he asking? Minu says that he doesn't have any bus money, so he'll have to bike there. He asks if they should ride together. Minu, while riding on the bike path, wonders what's wrong with the road. He sees cracks, trees, and vehicles on the pathway. He says that they should take the path through the park. They ride through the park and feel more relaxed. He thinks that it's a perfect day to skip school and go on a biking trip. Minu asks where his helmet is, and Jay replies that he doesn't have one. Minu says that he has been good to him, so would he like to buy one for him? But then he remembers that he doesn't have any money. Jay tells him to quit his yapping and just leave. Minu asks if they should race to the school then. However, Jay says that he could race by himself. At the school, Yuna tells Mia about what happened at Jay's house yesterday. Mia asks if it's true. She didn't know that Jay and Minu were close enough to live together. Yuna says that they must have gotten to like each other at some point. Mia tells her not to say things like that, otherwise people might get the wrong idea. She asks Mia if they should have the student council meeting in a cafe this weekend. Mia says that she likes the idea, but would Jay allow it? Yuna says that if enough girls pressure him, then he'll have to agree. Mia blushes and says, "Okay, dokie." Yuna says that she's doing all of this for her. They'll leave at the right time, so the two of them can talk in private. Mia blushingly replies that they don't have to do this. Yuna pats her head and asks why she keeps holding back like that. Jay is a good guy, so things will work out well. Dom overhears their conversation and says that he would also like to come. He asks Yuna if he could join the meeting as well. Yuna asks why he wants to be there. He isn't even in the student council. Dom says that he could be her private assistant. Yuna tells him to stop being an idiot and have his afternoon nap. Dom suggests watching a zombie movie tomorrow, but she tells him to get lost. Mia from the window sees that Jay and Minu rode to the school together on their bike. Mia says that the weather is nice and asks if she should get a bike too. Yuna says that it's a good idea. She could buy a bike and ask Jay to teach her. Dom says that he'll also buy one soon, and Yuna replies that she doesn't care. Minu enters the hallway with his bike on his shoulders, and the girls greet him. Some boys in the class are looking at an adult magazine and having fun. A girl snatches the magazine away from them and asks what they are doing at school. The boy replies that the magazine holds the key to their love life, so she should return it. The girl replies that she's doing her job as class monitor. Do they have a problem with it? Well, nothing beats the losers in the face of class monitors. The boy notices that Minu has brought the bike into the classroom. He asks why he brought it here. Minu replies that it's expensive and he can't just leave it outside. The boy asks how much it is and gets shocked after hearing it. He asks if he's joking. Who in their right mind would pay so much for a bike? Minu says that it's all he has now. He may have to sell it to get at least some money. The boy asks if he could ride it once. However, his confidence falls down the cliff when he sees that the seat is taller than him. He runs away while crying. He goes to a girl and asks if she could bring her some milk. The girl pats her and says she'll bring it. Jay is walking to his classroom when Yuna greets him. She came here to ask him something about the next student meeting. She says that everyone wants to have this week's meeting in a coffee shop. What does he think about it? Jay asks if she's serious. However, Yuna cuts him in the mid-sentence and says that it's decided then. She'll text him the address later. Later, Mia shows by Yuna's side and says that the plan worked. Jay will come, so she should get dressed up. On the day of the meeting, Mia is looking through which clothes she should wear. Yuna calls her and asks if she's ready. Mia hurriedly replies that she'll get ready in a few minutes. On the other hand, Minu is chilling in Jay's room. He wonders what he's doing lying around here on a weekend with no money and no fun. He looks at the couple walking down below and feels jealous. He sees Kay chasing after Jack and thinks that his date is also going well. Suddenly, he sees Jay getting ready and asks where he's going. Jay replies that he's heading to the student meeting. Minu says that he's bored and asks if he could tag along. However, Jay says that he'll go by himself. Jay puts on his hoodie and takes out his cycle. Minu says that he'll take care of the house, so can he bring him something good like ice cream in return? Jay sighs at his increasing request and leaves. At the coffee bar, a loser tries his luck with a girl. His charming lines work on the girl, but others feel grossed by it. Dom is also sitting along with them and thinks that the food here is good. Yuna deep down wonders why this dork followed her. Mia shows up without her glasses and greets them. She says that they are here earlier than expected. Dom asks who is she, and do they know her. Mia smiles and asks how could they react like that. Dom's food falls off as he can't believe it's her. Yuna says that she looks different without her glasses. She also dressed up prettily today. Mia asks if she looks that good. She decided to wear contact lenses today. The fatty tries to charm her through his cheesy lines, but he gets kicked by his girl. She asks what he's staring at. Some students from another high school think that those kids are being too noisy. Vinny says that this is lame. He asks if there isn't anything fun around here. The boy tells Vinny to pay attention to those morons staring at him. Vinny notices them, and they stop looking at him. They talk about how his one eye is red. They say that it's a colored contact lens. The other boy says that he must be doing a costume play. Suddenly, Vinny shows up at their table and drinks from the boy's cup. He says that it tastes bitter. He then asks if they think that his eye color looks weird to them. How about they rip his eye out and see it for themselves? The boy asks what his problem is. Vinny flips the table in anger. Dom's group wonders what's going on there. Are they fighting? Vinny steps on the boy and asks if he looks funny. He can't stand people like him who talk behind people's backs. He pours his coffee on him and tells him to finish his drink. The boy defends himself with his arm from the sizzling coffee. His friends ask if he has gone crazy, and how could he do something like that? Suddenly, someone grabs Vinny's hand. Dom steps up and says that it's enough. Vinny lets go of the cup, and it falls on the ground. The people behind them shout to call the cops before they start fighting. Vinny flicks Dom's hat away and asks what his problem is. Yuna suddenly shouts and tells Dom to keep his fists to himself this time. Dom sighs and proceeds to leave. The people wonder what they are doing in a cafe. Vinny's friend also advises him to bounce off from here before things go out of hand. Vinny taunts him with his tongue and leaves. He says that they will continue this somewhere quieter. Dom picks up his hat and puts it back on. He tells Yuna that he didn't cause any trouble this time. Yuna replies that he did a good job. The scene shifts to Shelly, coming to Korea. The people look at a beauty passing by. A guy also takes a sneak while he is walking with his girlfriend. She grabs his head and scolds him for cheating on her like that. A person says that there's a chick at 2 o'clock. They wonder if she's a model or something. The other person thinks about getting her number, and his friend replies that he should keep dreaming about it. He says that he can get a foreign girl's number easily by this face. His friend says that he'll pay for today's meal if he can get her number. He thinks he always acts cocky and needs to be turned down once. Shelly wonders why all these creeps are staring at her. This is why she can't stand man. The man greets her in French while riding his bicycle. However, Shelly tells him to just speak English. She wonders where this weirdo came from. He says that he was drinking coffee when he saw an angel walk by, so he followed her. He asks if he could get her phone number if she doesn't mind. At the same time, a person wearing an Iron Man helmet is riding a scooter. The man behind him says that they have spotted the target. The target is the blonde chick over there. They believe she must have some serious cash. They lock her as the target and rush towards her. Shelly feeds her number and asks if they are done here. She throws his phone back to him and proceeds to leave. The man thanks her for the number and says he'll message her when he gets the chance. He thinks that his 99% success rate still stands. Nobody can resist his charms. When he sees the number, he thinks that it's messed up and she has fooled him. Suddenly, the thieves snatch her purse by rushing from behind. The man teases her with the bag as they make a run. Shelly flips her middle finger and tells them to stop right now. At the same time, Jay is rushing on his cycle. He rushes past her and she wonders who he is. A construction worker is chilling around a ledge in his break. Jay picks up his helmet and says he'll borrow this for a second. He puts on the helmet and cycles forward. At the coffee shop, the employees are cleaning the mess and lament about the kids being cocky these days. The girl feels bad that those people are cleaning others' mess. The boy says that he would have taken them on like he used to do in his elementary school. The other girls ignore them and tell Dom how he was quite brave back then. Dom replies that he wasn't planning on fighting anyway and just wanted to scare them away. Yuna says that he wasn't brave, but wasn't thinking anything. Mia says that she always wanted to ask him something. Dom asks what she wants to know. Does she has feelings for him? Mia asks why he always has that band-aid on his face. Does he have a scar or something? Dom becomes scared and wonders if they want to know this. Yuna says that they would have asked about it eventually. She says he looks stupid in it. Mia says that she's curious to know as well. They can keep it their little secret. They keep insisting Dom to reveal it, and he finally agrees. He begins to rip off his bandage and says that he'll show it once. He removes the bandage and thinks this is the end of his secret. They see that Dom has a mustache. The girl asks how he has a mustache when he's still in high school. Dom reveals his secret lotion for growing this mustache. A boy asks if he could let him use it once, just a little bit. Dom says that he won't give him. He got it hardly on the black market. A girl asks why he's going through the trouble of growing a mustache. Dom says that he has been helping out his dad in a part-time job. He does DJ stuff at the club. Also, since high schoolers aren't allowed, so he has been growing a mustache to disguise himself. He covers it with a band-aid so the teachers don't find it out. Mia asks if that's the reason he keeps sleeping in class. A girl asks what kind of work his dad does, if he's making his son do that. Dom nervously replies that he manages an organization. The scene shifts to Dom's dad coming out of the airport, and a bunch of people bow in respect. Dom thinks that he almost forgot that his dad is coming back to Korea today. The girl asks if he's a civil servant or something if he's managing an organization. Dom replies that she could say it like that. Mia gets up and says that she'll get them some coffee. At the same time, a photographer sitting in the same cafe takes a picture of Mia. He smiles after taking the picture. Back to Jay, he's chasing after the thieves. The thief says that they hit the jackpot this time. He notices that someone is following them on a bike. He tells his buddy to speed up, and he asks which lunatic would try to chase a motorcycle with a cycle. He mocks Jay for being a fool. He can never catch them with his bike. Jay notices that they are taking a right turn. He then takes a shortcut by cutting through an alleyway. Jay speeds through the alley and spots a parked vehicle across the wall. He uses the car to propel himself onto the edge. He then starts riding the edge of the wall with precision. Some kids are playing soccer nearby. A boy kicks the ball into the air and they see a person riding a cycle over the wall. They wonder if this is Attack on Bicycle show. They cheer him and call him awesome. The thief says that they finally lost him. The Iron Man says that he was dumb enough to think that he could have chased them on a bike. Jay almost catches up to them and sees the thieves in front. The thief says that he was quite persistent and almost scared him for a second. Some kid are having ice cream and enjoying their time. They remain astonished when they see a person jump off the wall with his bicycle. Jay crashes his bicycle onto their motorbike, and all three of them fall on boxes. The boy thinks that it looked a bike fell from the sky, and the other boy wonders if they are dead. However, Jay comes out of the boxes alive. The thieves say that they hurt their bike. Jay steps up and his shadows loom over them. They start running away, calling Jay a nutcase. Once they have left, Jay picks up the purse. Soon enough, Shelly arrives in a taxi. She worriedly asks if he's okay. Jay covers his injuries with the helmet and gives her back the purse. Shelly says that they should get him to the hospital. However, Jay picks up his cycle and replies that he's fine. She asks, how could he be fine with all that blood running down his face? Suddenly Jay's phone rings and he picks it up. Shelly stops herself from troubling him further. Jay explains that he got into an accident, and Yuna asks if he got hurt. She hangs up the phone and sighs. Yuna explains that Jay got into an accident while he was riding his bike. He said that he couldn't make it today and the meeting would be postponed. Mia worriedly asks if Jay got hurt. Yuna says that he may not be too much hurt judging by his voice, other than that he didn't tell her much. A boy says that he must be making excuses, but Yuna says that Jay's not that type of person. A girl says that they should hang out a bit more, and then go. Mia's moods turn off after hearing Jay isn't coming. She says that she'll go to the bathroom for a second. Once in the washroom, she felt coming here was pointless. She comes out and hopes that Jay's all right. The photographer from before introduces himself as CJ. He says that he's working as a fashion artist for a magazine. Mia nervously says hi. CJ hands her the card and says that she seems fit to become a model. She could come to the photo shoot if she's interested. If she feels comfortable, then she could contact him by the next week. Soon enough, they decide to leave and head back home. Yuna says that it was bad that Jay didn't show up today. She tried her best to look nice for him. She tells Yuna to cheer up a bit, and Dom also feels lucky today. He drank coffee with Yuna in the morning. She asks what that guy was talking to her before. Yuna takes out the card and says that he was from a fashion magazine. He asked her to be a model. Yuna takes the card and becomes shocked. She says that it's a famous magazine. At Jay's home, Minu is watching TV. He thinks that staying at home is boring. The scene shifts to Jay going to a bike shop. He enters the shop and asks for the mechanic. The mechanic is a girl, and she welcomes him. Jay says that he came to get his bike repaired. The girl recognizes him from the last race. She asks if doesn't he remember her and explains that she filmed their last race. She provides him with some first aid and says that it's done. Jay says that he didn't come here for the first aid but to get his bike fixed. Harry says that he messed up his bike real bad this time. The fork and front wheel are totally busted. She asks if he really crashed his bike while trying to catch some thieves to give a girl's purse back. He's quite something. Jay looks at the picture of his uncle on the wall. He remembers watching him on the television when he was a kid. He was a racing champion in cycling. He also asked him what dream he wanted to accomplish in his life. Little Jay replies that he wants to be a doctor. His uncle says that it's a dream that his parents gave him. He wants to know what he truly desires. Jay says that there's nothing. He's a student, and all he can do is study like his parents tell him. His uncle says that studying is important too, but if he finds something he's good at, then he should do it. Jay wonders what he meant. He asks his uncles what his dream is. He replies that he wants to stand on top of everyone in the world. He won the race and proved that nothing is impossible. The commentator announces that this is the first time that a Korean cyclist won the race in the finals. Jay quickly switches off the TV once his mom tells him to do homework. After the race, his heart beats a lot, and he thinks that his uncle did it. In the present, Harry asks if he knows this man. She says that he's a national cyclist and won first place in many races. He also won once on the international stage. Every cyclist dreams of becoming like him. She again asks if he knows him, and Jay replies that he is his uncle. Harry says that she knew it. This bike was used by him before he became a competitive cyclist. The cyclist usually gives their bike a name, and his uncle's name is written on it. Jay asks how she knows his uncle. Harry replies that she's a huge fan of him. She inspects the bike and wonders how she should fix this. After inspecting the damage, she says that it will take 2 days. Jay proceeds to leave and says he'll come back when it's done. Before he leaves, she shows him a poster and asks if he's interested in participating in this event. The League of Street is hosting a biking competition this month, and it's gonna be big. The first place winner gets $100,000 in prize money and a ticket to participate in the international competition. She asks if he's interested. However, Jay denies it. She says that he could still join it if he changes his mind. He can participate with his friends. However, Jay says that he has an exam next month and doesn't have time for this. Harry says that's all right and she'll see him later. Jay, while heading back home, reaches for his wallet in the pocket. He checks his other pockets and bag but can't find it. He then realizes that he must have dropped it. The scene shifts to Shelley looking at Jay's wallet and his school ID. Her grandfather comes in fuming and calls her his princess. He says that he missed her a lot. Shelley says that she wants to ask him a favor. She says that she wants to transfer to his school for a bit. The scene shifts to Minu asking Jay what happened to his face. He asks if he got into an accident and Jay agrees. He asks how he manages to hurt himself daily and inquires about his bike's whereabouts. Jay replies that he left it at a repair shop. Minu asks if his bike got busted then, and Jay agrees. He feels sorry for him that he won't be able to ride his bike anymore. Suddenly, Minu realizes that he has to ride his bike alone starting tomorrow. He asks Jay if he was sleeping while riding. The next day at the school, Jay's friends come to his seat. Dom puts his arm around Jay and asks if he's feeling well. Everyone was worried when they heard that he had an accident yesterday, especially Mia. Mia comes in and shuts Dom's mouth. She feels glad that he wasn't hurt much. Yuna asks what happened then when he was coming to the cafe. Jay replies that it's not a big deal, and they should forget about it. He has to study now, so they should leave. The teacher enters the class and tells the students to take their seats. Dom complains that it's break time, so why should they? Yuna says that he must have come here to make an announcement. He taps on the bench and tells everyone to pay attention. From today onwards, they'll have an exchange student in their class. The students wonder if it's a foreign student and hope it's a girl. The teacher blushes and tells her to come in. Shelley enters the classroom with a bit of provocative clothing. The boys cheer up and say that she woke them from their dreams. The teacher says that she was living in England and decided to transfer to their school suddenly. She's here for a semester, so they should be friendly to her. Shelley introduces herself and says that she likes traveling and cycling. The boys roar in happiness, saying that an angel has descended in their class. Yuna thinks that all these boys are the same pathetic losers. Dom thinks that Shelley is pretty, but Yuna is the only girl for him. Our boy Jay studies diligently even in break and ignores all the noise around him. Shelley looks at Jay and thinks that she found him. At the same time, the security guard is strolling in the hallway and wonders what all this noise is. He looks around and sees the principal peeking in a classroom. The students say that the new student is hot, and the principal wonders why these little wolves are looking at her Shelley that way. The guard asks the principal if he's all right. Inside the classroom, the teacher says that he'll allot her a seat. Shelley moves past him and says she'll find her own seat. She looks around and sees multiple losers. She finds Jay studying and approaches him. Suddenly she kisses Jay out of the blue. The students remain in utter shock on seeing this. The class once again goes into an uproar. They ask how this damn nerd got a kiss from her. Some boys say that they want a kiss too. The principal scratches the wall with his nails as he witnesses the scene unfold. He wonders what is going on between those two, and how he dared to kiss her Shelley. Some students also come out of their class to see what's happening. The principal says that his Shelley was never interested in boys. Then how is this happening? He starts fainting, and the guard rushes to save him. Even the school teacher cries and asks what they are doing in the school. Jay wipes the kiss and asks why she did that. Shelley replies that she didn't get a chance to thank him before for saving her purse from thugs. She hands him his wallet and says he dropped it earlier. She turns to the student sitting next to Jay and calls him out. She asks if he won't mind much with changing seats as she wants to sit here. The boy hesitates for a bit, but gives way. He says it's quite rude for a single guy like him to get in the way of their relationship. Yuna wonders if Jay missed the meeting because of that chick. Mia's world fades into oblivion as she sees her crush being taken away from her. At the same time, June is walking in the hallway while reading the cycling tournament poster. Suddenly, a boy and Minu rush past him while cursing at Jay. June asks if it's him and where they are going. Minu replies that he heard a new exchange student joined the class recently. June says that he wants to tell him about something. Minu replies that he doesn't have time for this. That damn Jay just kissed that blonde-haired angel, and everyone is talking about it. June believes that Minu is busy with some school drama, and thinks about telling him the next time. He thinks that Monster 13 will participate in this tournament, so he was planning to join it too. Soon, the boy and Minu show up in the classroom while panting. Minu asks where that damn nerd is. Students pile up on Jay and say that he has been pretending to study all the time. In reality, he was reading a guide to date the girls. They proclaim he's now their common enemy. Girls come to Shelley and say that she has great hair. They also ask how she knows Jay. Suddenly, Minu shows up and introduces himself from class 3. Shelley wonders who these losers are and hopes they would just screw off. Minu then comes to Jay and pats his shoulder. He asks Mr. Popular if they could talk for a second. Jay replies that he's busy and he'll talk later. Minu takes Jay forcefully and tells him to just come with him for a minute. Shelley looks at her knight in shining armor and becomes happy. Minu says that he didn't expect him to make a move on a girl so early. He asks how long they have been dating. Jay replies that they are not dating. Minu asks if he's joking. Can he explain why he kissed that blonde-haired goddess then? He can't believe a nerd like him beat him to kiss a girl first. Jay retorts and says that it was her who came to him suddenly and did it. Minu asks if she kissed him for no reason then. How couldn't he say anything when they have been living together lately? Minu suddenly realizes that he spilled the wrong beans. The students ask if they heard him right. They are living together. The girls wonder if Minu is into guys, and that's why he's fighting Jay because he cheated on him. The boys feel grossed about Minu living with that bookworm. Minu tries explaining that it's just a misunderstanding. However, the rumors have already started spreading. A boy thinks that he can't miss this golden opportunity and must post this story on school news. A boy creeps on Shelly and thinks that her hair smell is so good. Shelly punches the boy away and thinks that Jay is quite popular. In the background, Dom chimes in and asks, how could they leave him out of this after the bonding they did? Suddenly, Mia stands up and Yuna asks what's wrong. She gets out of the classroom and walks in the hallway. Mia remembers her past while walking. She was bullied by some girls and they crushed her glasses. They say that she looks like a double battery in those glasses. They walk past her, calling her a dork who's nothing more than a dirty loser. At that moment, Jay approached her and asked what her eyesight was. Mia replies it's -1, and Jay hands over his glasses to her. He says that they are almost the same, so she would be able to see with this. She thanks him for the glasses and asks Jay how will he see clearly then. Jay shows her a new pair of glasses and says he breaks his glasses pretty often, so he carries a spare one. Mia thinks that she knew about Jay since middle school. He wasn't good at expressing his feelings, but he's a nicer person than anyone. That's when she begins to like Jay. She wants to tell him how much she likes him, but she doesn't have the courage because of all the bullying she has faced. Later that evening, Jay is walking back home. Minu calls out to him as a nerd, and Jay feels more annoyed by him. Minu shows him the poster that June left at his desk. The prize money is $100,000, and they will get a chance to enter the international competition. Minu says they should make their crew and join this. He has left home and has no money, so this is his only hope. Jay replies that he is not interested and tells him to quit bothering him. Minu says that they might end up on TV and get famous if they do this. Minu tries convincing him, but Jay keeps giving him straight no. Shelly finds Jay walking back home and thinks about calling him. However, her grandfather places his hand on her mouth. He asks, where is she going, sweetheart? Shelly replies that she wants to hang out with a friend for a bit. Her grandpa drags her away and asks what she's up to this time. She should better spend time with him at home. Shelly begs him not to do this and says she wants to go with Jay. At Jay's home, Minu once again says that they should do this once he gets his bike fixed. Jay annoyingly replies that he doesn't want to hear about it anymore. Jay sees the news about the upcoming cycling competition. They have Sang-ho Choi as the host of this event. Minu says that Sang-ho is a cycling champion from Korea, and wonders if he's going to be in this competition. Sang-ho says that whoever wins the tournament, they'll get a chance to compete with him in the last stage. Suddenly, Kay grabs the remote and says, who cares about this boring news? It's kitty time for him. Minu calls him a mini brat and tells him to let it play for a second. They quarrel among themselves in the background, and Jay watches the interview intently. The interviewer says that it's quite unfortunate that Man-jo died in an accident. If he had been alive, he would have joined this competition. Sang-ho replies that Man is a shame. He died in an accident after doping in his last tournament. Jay remembers that his uncle Man-jo wasn't like that. Sang-ho continues that Man would have left cycling anyway after the doping incident. He says that doping to improve performance is wrong, and hopes he won't see riders like him anymore. Jay clutches his towel in anger and calls out to Minu as a loser. Minu and Kay wonder what has suddenly gotten into Jay. Jay says that he'll join that competition. Later that night, Jay's team gathers in the park. June asks Jay if he's going to join the competition. Jay replies that he will. Minu asks, why is he so quiet? Is he thinking about changing his mind? However, our boy just keeps thinking about what that Sang-ho bastard said about his uncle in the interview. June says he doesn't know the reason why he's joining suddenly, but he's glad that he'd be riding with them. June also adds that they don't have enough people to call themselves a crew. Minu says that those Zephyrus punks will also join the competition. If they end up facing against them, he'll kick their asses this time. June tells Minu not to stress out. They can't undo what's done. Minu asks if shouldn't they make a name for their new crew, and June agrees. June asks if they have any good names in their mind, and they ponder over it. Minu says super cool crew sounds great. However, Jay says that it's childish, and June also agrees. Minu blurts more names like Tiger Crew, Big Giant Crew, Ultra Crew, and what else. Jay tells him to stop coming up with these absurd names. June suggests going home and thinking about it tomorrow at school. Jay says that he hates being on the same crew with this dimwit. Minu suggests they go with some manly name like Super Cool Crew. Jay tells him to stop trying. Tomorrow at the school, the teacher is teaching English. Our boy Minu ignores everything and tries to come up with a crew name. He thinks that this is the hardest he has ever thought in his entire life. After the class, the trio try to come up with names. Jay checks Minu's notebook and asks if these are the only names he came up with last night. Minu says that they will have to use Super Cool Crew as they don't have any other choice. Jay replies he doesn't want a stupid name like that. Minu asks Mr. Smartass about what names he has on his mind. Jay replies anything except Super Cool will work. June thinks that Minu kept their last crew name Zephyrus after he saw some anime. Shelly comes in and asks Jay what they are doing. Once she hears that they are making a bike crew, she asks if she could join as well. Both Minu and Jay look surprised upon hearing it. June says that the competition could be a bit dangerous for a girl. However, Minu says that a beautiful girl like her is always welcome to join. She only needs to push the pedal, and he'll handle the rest. He asks if she knows how to ride a bike. Shelly replies that she's a better rider than him. Inside the classroom, Yuna asks Mia why she has been so down since yesterday. Mia says that it's nothing much, she isn't feeling great. Dom comes in and says they could hear this hip-hop song to gain some energy. Yuna says that Mia isn't feeling well, so he should take his stupid music and screw off. Outside, Minu suggests keeping the crew name to be Goddess and her boy toys. June sighs and thinks that Minu even gets dumber around girls. Suddenly, Dom notices them together outside. He asks why they are hanging out without him. He thought they were friends after what they did in Jay's room that night. Shelly asks what they did together in Jay's room. Mia looks at Shelly and feels a bit jealous. She walks away and Yuna asks if everything is okay. In the afternoon, they hang out on the rooftop and enjoy the scenery. Minu asks Dom why he's still here. Dom says that he wants to join their biking crew. Minu asks if he has a bike. Dom says that he was thinking about getting one from a reputed online site. Minu says that they'll talk when he has one. June asks if they should keep their crew name as Sunny Crew, as they are from Sunny High School. Minu says that it kind of sounds cheesy. Shelly says that they suck at coming up with names. The principal peeks at them behind the wall and sees his Shelly. He grits his teeth in anger and wonders why she's next to that kid again. He also thinks that she hasn't seen her look so bright in ages. Suddenly a bug flies in front of Dom. Both Dom and Minu freak out on seeing it. Minu says that it's a hummingbird. However, June tells him that there aren't many hummingbirds in Korea. He believes it's a hawk moth, and a lot of people confuse it with hummingbird, as it looks similar. Hummingbirds are known to flap their wings 90 times per minute. Minu remains shocked at hearing the fact. He wonders how fast he could go if he pedals his cycle 90 times per minute. He believes it'll probably be faster than a motorcycle. Minu says what if they could pedal as fast as a hummingbird? June and Shelly also say the word hummingbird with a question mark. Dom asks, what's with all of that humming? At the same time, other people look at the poster and get ready to join it. Monster 13 is also making his preparation. A girl smoking her cigarette also thinks about joining it. A loser says that he'll beat everyone with his precious bike. TJ also thinks about joining it and believes this would be fun. Later that evening, Jay and Mia are cleaning the blackboard. Mia nervously asks Jay if he's dating Shelly. Jay asks what is she talking about. Mia replies that everyone is talking about how he's dating a foreigner, so she's just curious. Jay says that they are not dating and asks who's spreading crap like that. Mia feels relieved and says, never mind. She asks if they are making a crew or something earlier. Jay agrees and says they are making a biking crew. Mia exclaims that it sounds fun and asks what their crew name is. Jay replies that they are going with Hummingbird. Mia says that Hummingbird sounds quite cute. She asks if they have made their crew logo or emblem. If not, she could make one for them. She wanted to work in design after graduation, so she would like to make a logo. Jay agrees and thanks her for doing it. Mia blushes and says sweet. Jay says that they should pack their bag and leave. Mia asks Jay one more thing. She was planning to buy a bike soon and asks if he could teach it to her in his free time. Jay says that he'll teach her when he has got the time. After school, Jay visits the bike shop. Harry welcomes him, and Jay gets straight to the point. He asks if his bike is ready. Harry replies that he came later than she thought to be. At the same time, Dom reaches his home, and his father invites him to join them. He tells Dom to have a drink with his old man. Dom replies that he's tired and has got work in a bit. His father asks if can't he act a bit happy after seeing his father. It makes him a little sad. He puts his arm around Dom and asks if he's dating chicks at school. Dom asks if he's gone crazy. He's not into those things. His father says that he wasn't stiff like him when he was his age. He'll only have one chance to be young, so he should enjoy it till it lasts. He also asks if anyone is troubling him at the school. The brother of Dom's father tells him to stop bothering his kid and eat with him. Dom asks if he can buy him a bike so he can do some exercise. He asks why to buy a bike all of a sudden. He asks his underling how much a bike costs these days now. He replies around $50 for a decent one. He understands it and takes some money out of his wallet. He hands the money to Dom and tells him to get a nice bike. Dom asks if he's joking right now. Later, Dom browses through the net to look for bikes. He thinks all of them are so expensive. He wonders what he's supposed to do with $50. Even a pair of duplicate sneakers costs more than that. Suddenly, Dom comes across a bike, costing $100. He thinks that it's a great deal, but also feels sketchy as there aren't any pictures. Dom's assistant says that he should text him. Dom's heart thumps as he thinks about asking for a $50 discount on it. Dom sends the message and says that he could pay $50 by now. He wonders why isn't he replying, and if he wants to rip him off. His assistant says that if he tries to rip them off, then they will rip that person off. Dom sees that he answered. The person says that he must be a student and agrees to give him the bike for $50. He sends his bank details to transfer the money immediately. Dom thinks that he's getting a new bike for such a cool price. Now he can join the Hummingbird crew. The person selling the bike thinks that this kid must be a high schooler with no money. He thinks that he would get at least some money from him. Back at the bike shop, Harry asks if they are entering the competition. She tells Jay to make good memories together. She also advises him to take good care of his cycle as his uncle gave it to him. It took her a while to fix individual parts. The front wheel he was using was completely busted, so she switched it with an arrow wheel. Carbon arrow wheels are lighter than regular wheels, so it'll keep his bike light. The arrow wheel minimizes air resistance, allowing him to ride faster, but it could be hard to control when there's a crosswind. One little crack can destroy the wheel, so he shouldn't ride around dangerously. Jay asks how much the repairs and wheel set cost. Harry says that the arrow wheel was just taking dust lying around in the corner so he could have it. As for the repairs, he can pay her when he wins the competition. She's rooting for them to get the first place. He should win for his uncle's sake, especially after that whole doping incident. The scene shifts to Vinny's home. His home is a mess, and his friend also tells him to stop living like a pig. He says that school is over and he shouldn't sleep the whole day. Vinny asks what time it is. Sung replies it's 8 p.m. His friend also adds that he didn't come to school today and wouldn't answer his phone. So, he came to check if he was dead or not. Vinny's mom left a note for him to tidy his room and eat food from the fridge. Sung says that his mom came here this morning. Vinny tells Sung to forget about the note and asks how much money she has left. He replies about $10 and Vinny asks what he's supposed to do with that. It'll be gone with some cigarettes and a few drinks. Sung says that the homeroom teacher will expel him from the school if he misses classes. He should better come tomorrow. Vinny sighs and calls the school a pain in the ass. The next day at school, the teacher is beating Vinny. He asks if he takes the school as his playground. He'll never graduate unless he smartens up and stops doing whatever he wants. What kind of bastard is he who doesn't come to school without a bag? The teacher gets annoyed with him and tells him to get up. He scolds him for turning the school into trash. If he screws up one more time, then he'll be expelled. He calls his hair color stupid and wonders why a freak like him ended up in their school. Vinny grows tense as the teacher says that he'll ruin the school's image if he graduates from here. Suddenly, the teacher bumps into Sung. He looks up and sees the student making a serious face. He walks past him and wonders who this kid is. He grumbles that useless punks like him shouldn't be allowed at the school. Vinny's friend asks if he's all right. However, Vinny doesn't respond. He looks up and sees some students looking at him. They quickly get back inside the classroom once Vinny notices them. They think that they are screwed now as Vinny looked right at them in the eye. Soon, Vinny arrives in their classroom by slamming the door. He tells those morons to show up who were looking out at the window just now. The whole class remains puzzled as to who messed with the top dog of this school. Vinny tells them to get over here while he's being nice. A boy apologizes and says he just happened to be looking outside the window. Suddenly, Vinny approaches him with a chair in his hand. He smacks the boy and says who cares about his sorry. The scene shifts to Jay's school. A poster gets pasted about Minu and Jay dating. Plus, Shelly is Jay's girlfriend. Some boys click Shelly's photo and think that she's hot. As for Shelly, she's talking with her father. She says she wants to do bike riding here and asks if he can send her the cycle. She thanks him as he agrees to the condition. Dom is also on his phone and is quite agitated that he's even doing property damage. He thinks that this bastard is ignoring his calls and texts. Yuna wonders why that dork is on his phone all day and has a pissed-off look on his face. Besides Yuna, Mia is trying to come up with a logo for the Hummingbird crew. Yuna asks why is she drawing when it's lunchtime. Mia replies that she's working on a design. Yuna asks what design and if it's a logo. Yuna says that Minu and Jay finished lunch quickly and then went outside with their bike. She asks if she knows where they went. Mia guesses that they probably went to hand in the application for the competition. Yuna asks if they are entering a competition together. She guesses that it should have been obvious as they are living together. Suddenly, Mia says that it's done, and Yuna wakes up from his sleep. She holds the logo and thinks that it's good. The scene shifts to Jay and Minu standing outside the post office. Jay asks if he had to come all the way here to mail the application with him. Minu says that they are on the same team, so they should move together. Did he want to study at school while he did all the heavy work? Jay says to forget it and tells him to hurry up as they are wasting time here. Minu suggests eating something before they go. Jay replies that he's not interested and tells him to eat something by himself. Minu thinks that this bastard doesn't even compromise a single time. Suddenly Minu sees a weirdo with his bike and wonders what's wrong with him. The loser calls his bike Sweet Sena-chan and says he'll be back soon. He kisses his bike and says he likes her a lot. He pulls out a lock and says he will lock her now, so that nobody else can take her away. It'll be a little rough for a while, so she should understand it. Minu thinks that this weirdo has an even weirder taste than he anticipated. Just thinking about kissing a picture is giving him creeps down his spine. Jay says that they need to go, and Minu says they should get out of here quickly. Suddenly the loser calls out to him and asks what did he say. Minu asks if he's talking to them. He asks if he called his Sena-chan stupid. Silly person, how does he dare to insult his Sena-chan? He says. He calls Minu a bastard and tells him to take back his words. Minu says that this guy's an otaku freak. The otaku grabs Minu by his shirt and tells him to apologize. Minu asks Jay what he should do, and Jay tells him to hurry up and apologize. It's his fault to begin with. Minu says that he takes back what he just said. His Sena-chan is very pretty, ha. The freak lets go of Minu's shirt and tells him not to look at his girl with his filthy eyes. He picks up his envelope and says he got him upset for nothing. Minu notices the envelope and sees Manga Crew is written on it. He wonders if this otaku dude will compete in the League of Streets. The loser adjusts his glasses and says that only he can call Sena-chan by name, so he shouldn't call her like that. He goes to the post office and tells his Sena-chan to wait a bit more. Both Jay and Minu remain puzzled by his bizarre action. After sending the post, they start riding back to school. Minu says that the otaku freak pissed him off quite badly there. Jay says that he probably got upset because he said bad things about his girlfriend. Minu wonders if that anime girl is his girlfriend. Quite weird. Suddenly, a boy passes by them on his cycle in speed. He calls them stupid high schoolers and says they are slow. He taunts them to see his super cool bike from the back. Minu thinks that another weirdo popped out again. The scene shifts to Dom's assistant attending a call. He tells Dom not to worry as he'll take care of things. He cuts the phone and tells one of his underlings to come to him. An assistant comes and asks how he can help him. He says that some punk stole their young master's money. This is his number and transaction ID. They should hire some Chinese hacker and find his whereabouts. The man takes the slip and says, all right. He says that finding this punk's whereabouts would be a piece of cake. Their hacker friend has hacked Korean credit card companies recently. The boss tells him to bring boys and tools once they find his location. This little twerp needs to be shown how scary the world can be. As for Dom, he's being quite serious. He thinks that he fell to one of those internet scams. Once he catches that bastard, he'll show who he messed with. Suddenly, a boy pats Dom's shoulder and calls out to him. Dom turns back in killer eyes and asks what's wrong. The boy fumbles his word on seeing Dom like that. He says that Yuna wants to see him for a second. After seeing Yuna waiting for him, Dom's flower blossom. He asks if Yuna wants to see him. He goes for her with his arm flailing around. He asks how he should help her. Yuna tells him to lighten up and asks why he's so gloomy since morning. She hands him chewing gum and tells him to have this. He should stop grumbling and have some sugar to cheer himself up. Dom becomes chuffed and says this is amazing. He can't believe Yuna gave this to him. Dom says that he feels bad not giving her anything in return, and asks if she would like something sweet too. Yuna punches him and tells him to just eat the gum. Later that evening, the boy from morning is going back to his home with some drinks and food. He thinks he deserves some treat after scamming $50 from that boy. He can't believe that some idiot believed he'd sell his bike for $50. He'll have food, watch soccer, and then go to bed. As he reaches the stairs, he sees the entrance door to be open. He wonders if the landlord came to ask for rent. He cautiously goes to his room and sees it to be open. He wonders if someone broke into his apartment. He slowly creaks it and hopes he didn't get robbed. When he enters his home, he sees some thugs with various weapons waiting for him. He wonders who all these people are and drops his food in fear. The man ties the boy up with some duct tape and he cries in fear. The boss says that he picked a fight with the wrong kid. If he was thinking about scamming someone, then he should have prepared for the consequences as well. Because of a twerp like him, they had to come here and waste their time. He tells the kid to think of today as the day when he brought a $50 ticket to hell. When the young master comes here, he should better prepare himself to be buried alive. The boy starts crying horribly as his fate is now sealed. Soon, Dom shows up, and the man greets him as the young master. Dom approaches the scammer, and the scammer thinks he's just a high school kid. Dom pulls something out of his pocket, and the boy wonders if he's pulling out a knife. However, Dom pulls out the gum he got from Yuna, and says that it's sweet. Even though it's not banana-flavored, it's still good. The scammer wonders what is he talking about. Dom's assistant asks what they should do with this little idiot. But Dom just thinks about the gum he received from Yuna. Dom asks where his bike is. He soon notices it parked in a corner. He checks it out and thinks that it's brand new. He didn't know that one could get such a good bike for $50. The boy begs him not to do anything to his bike. Dom says that the bike is in quite good condition. Dom's assistant wonders if something good happened to the young master. He was talking about killing this kid earlier in the morning. Dom takes the bike and helmet and says he won't be riding this anymore. Dom leaves and says he got what he came here for. He tells his boys to just let him go. His assistant says, "All right." The boy cries in fear, thinking that he almost reached heaven. The assistant says that he's a lucky bastard, and tells his boys to let him go. They bury the boy in the ground along with his food. The kitten eats his chicken, and the boy thinks he's doomed now. At Jay's home, Minu is once again hogging at Jay's place. He tells Jay that he'll show him something cool, but Jay tells him to screw off. He has to take an online class. Suddenly, Minu senses something by the window. Jay asks if he downloaded crap on his computer again. Someone tosses a pebble at the window again. Minu asks if he heard that sound right now. Jay replies he doesn't know. It must be a cat or something. Minu looks out of the window and sees Dom showing his new bike. Minu becomes amazed at seeing him have a new bike. Minu test rides the bike and says that this thing kicks ass. He also thinks that he has seen this bike somewhere on the street before. Minu says that this bike must be expensive, and asks how much he paid for it. Dom replies that he bargained it down to $50 from a used site. Both Minu and Jay remain shocked, and Dom asks if he paid too much for it. Minu asks if he's serious. Did he do something to the guy who sold it? Minu says he got it for cheap. Dom says that the owner just gave it to him because he didn't need it anymore. Minu says that the owner is a freaking angel. He practically got this bike for free, and Dom also agrees. Our boy Jay thinks that he should better study now. Dom asks how they ride this thing around. There are no brakes, so he was scared to ride it. Minu suggests him to practice skidding. That way it would be easier to ride fixed-gear bikes. Dom asks what skidding means. Minu explains that it's a technique to stop fixed-gear bikes with leg power. After building up speed, you pedal in the opposite direction to stop the bike. Minu hops on the cycle and says he'll give a demo. Minu skids in style, and Dom gets excited. He says he'll give it a try now. Dom puts on the pedal and wonders why it isn't fitting. He cries as his Jordan gets scratched. Minu suggests him to get some new shoes first. Slip-on or canvas shoes would be better than sneakers. Dom finally straps the pedal on his shoes and says he'll now give it a try. Dom starts pedaling, and he feels something weird with the cycle. He says that the bike isn't stopping. It feels like he is being dragged along with it. Minu tells him to skid like he showed before. He needs to get the pedal on a horizontal level and then pedal in the opposite direction. Dom thinks that he can't lose to a stupid bike and tries pedaling in the opposite direction. However, it doesn't work, and he shouts that it's not working. His pedals are going too fast for him to stop. He begs someone to stop this as he can't stop it alone. Minu asks where is he going. Minu thinks that he has gone too far now and believes Dom doesn't have athletic ability. He thinks about going to the shop tomorrow and getting him some breaks first. The next day at school, a girl says that she's stressed about a pimple on her face. Another girl replies that nobody will notice it. She says that she has to look good for Minu. Another girl hopes that Minu will realize that they have feelings for him. Suddenly, a boy brushes past them while lifting their skirts with his hand. He says that they are wearing pink and white today. Nice choice. The girls grit their teeth in anger and call him a little perv. The boy does the same to other girls while skateboarding down the hallway. He thinks that everyone is wearing white today, which is the color of purity. He then notices Shelley inside the classroom, and he smiles on seeing her. He thinks that he should greet her good morning at least. However, the girls from before block his way. Some talk about using him as a toilet plunger while some say that they will beat the crap out of him. A girl punches him, and the boy replies that he was just giving what the readers wanted. Well, your sacrifice won't be in vain, boy. We enjoyed the show. The girls gang up on him and start stomping him. In the classroom, Mia shows them the logo, and everyone is amazed. She asks what they think about it. Minu grabs Mia's hand and says that he loves it. They will definitely use this as their crew logo. Yuna shoves Minu back and asks if he's looking for an excuse to touch Mia. Minu asks if she takes him for a weirdo. Shelley says that she has quite a talent for drawing. She asks if she can see it one more time. However, Mia replies she won't show it to her. Shelley asks what is her problem. Minu wonders why the vibe changed suddenly here. Minu suggests printing it out on their crew uniforms as they have settled on the logo. Minu pats Jay and asks if he likes the crew logo. Jay replies he does, and Mia feels happy to hear it. She says she'll finish this and send the image in a file. Suddenly, Dom shows up to the class with his feet wobbling and says what's up. Minu guesses that he went over the limit yesterday, and that's why he's limping. Mia also asks if he got hurt. Dom says that he practiced skidding until late at night so he can't feel his legs. The seat also made his butt sore. He says that he should get some brakes on his cycle. He was so scared that he walked with his bike here. Minu asks where he kept his bike then and if he locked it up. Dom tells him not to worry as his bike won't be stolen. Dom has chained his bike with a dog so nobody would get it. Some boys say that the cycle looks freaking awesome and wonder who is its owner. The dog growls at them and the boys become afraid. They wonder who the hell chains a dog with their cycle. Well, that's our boy always coming up with great solutions. Jay wonders why is he on the team with these dimwits. Mia asks Jay if he could teach her how to ride this weekend. She just got a mini velo. Yuna chimes in and says that Mia did a lot of hard work to make the logo, so he should at least teach her to ride the bike during the weekend. Jay says that he always holds his promise, and will teach her. Mia brightens up on hearing his response. Shelley interrupts their pleasurable moment, asking if she's trying to borrow Jay from her. Mia asks what is she talking about borrowing him? Is he a materialistic thing? Shelley replies that she'll come this weekend then. Dom, our first clueless person, says that he'll come for the practice too. Minu, our second clueless person, says that he's free this weekend so they can hang out together. Yuna thinks that those two idiots don't have brains. Minu asks where June is. Is he studying for the college entrance exam? As for June, the entrance exam can go to trash. He's watching YouTube. He sees the video of Monster braking at a speed of 87 kilometers per hour on a 5-point gear ratio. He's cycling behind a car, helping him to reduce the wind resistance that a cyclist faces. Monster soon touches the speed of 97 kilometers per hour. The once desolated road gets fumed by Monster. The driver waves at him, saying they'll slow down now. Monster takes off the protective cloth and reaches for the bottle. He cycles with ease after attaining a speed of 102 kilometers per hour. June remains in awe after watching the monstrous speed of Monster. The scene shifts to the bike shop. Harry puts on brakes on the front wheel and says it would be safer for him to ride now. Dom cheers up, and Minu wonders if she's the same girl that streamed their last race. He asks if she does live streaming and runs the shop. Harry replies that she does webcast for fun and this is her main job. She asks if, don't they have a competition coming up? Shouldn't they be exercising or training? Minu asks if they really have to do workout. They have Jay in their team, so it'll be easy. June enters the shop and says they won't be able to finish the preliminaries if they don't take this seriously. Minu asks if he comes here often. June replies he does. He comes here for regular maintenance and also when he needs to change the tire. Minu asks if he's even studying for the exam. If not, he'll end up taking a drop year. June tells him to shut up and says he's doing fine. He pulls out his phone and tells them to check this out. He shows them the clip of Monster achieving 102 kilometers per hour speed. Minu says that this guy is a beast. He can't believe someone could reach that speed. Jay and Dom are also freaked out. Harry says that he's using a 5-point gear ratio. Plus, the car is acting as a windbreaker. Under these conditions, an elite cyclist can easily break 100 kilometers per hour. She heard that the Guinness record was over 200 kilometers per hour. Minu says that there's no limit to human potential. He asks June who is this guy. June says that he's known as Monster 13. He was a well-known football player at American high school. When he was playing one day, he hurt his knee and couldn't run like before. After giving up his dream of football, he picked up cycling to get his knee back in shape. He took the desire to run in the field and turned it into biking. Thus, he was reborn as a total cycling beast. Now, he has formed the Monster crew and will take part in the competition. He's the most likely candidate to win this. This guy is a beast and can handle 5-point gear ratio. Do they think that they'll be able to win against him? Minu says that they can't do anything if this guy participates in the game, and Dom says that he just bought a bike. Harry asks if they know how to use rollers. Minu asks what roller is, and Dom asks if she's saying lol. She tells them to come with her. She takes them to the back of the shop, and Dom asks what is this place. She says this is where members come to exercise. It's a roller drum, which is good for practicing pedaling and steering. Minu says that he has never seen this kind of place before. Harry says they'll get used to steering if they use this. They can find which basic position suits them well. Dom takes off his bag and says he'll give it a try. He gets over the roller and thinks that it's making him nervous. Once he starts pedaling on it, he feels something weird with it. He wonders why isn't it steering properly. He hits the metal bar on the side and says crap. He wonders why this is so hard. The bike is shaking from side to side. Harry says that it's shaking because he's applying too much strength to his wrists and shoulders. He needs to keep them as relaxed as possible. Dom says that it's not as easy as it seems. Beside Dom, Jay cycles perfectly on the roller. Dom asks, how is he so good at this? Jay replies that he used to do it a lot with his uncle. Minu asks, why is he good at everything? It feels unfair. June says that's why he's called their ace. Harry sees that Jay's upper body and pedaling are perfectly stable. Using all these muscles naturally takes a lot of practice. One can tell that he's Mon's nephew. He has got the natural biking sense in him. Harry says that she has a customer to see, and tells them to practice on these rollers when they have a chance. If they get the hang of it, they should ride on the road. They thank her for this opportunity. Dom sits down and feels this to be harder than he anticipated. Minu says that he's feeling all sweaty. Our boy Jay is reading while cycling. It's a walk in the park for him. Dom from behind complains that he has so much to learn. He wants to show up to school tomorrow while riding his bike and impress Yuna. Minu asks what he likes about that ugly cow. Dom says that she's not an ugly cow, she's unbelievably pretty. Minu replies, yeah, sure. He mumbles as to why only weirdos like his sister. As a guy himself, he just doesn't get it. Dom asks what he means. Is he Yuna's brother? Minu agrees and says they are fraternal twins. Dom's world turns upside down on this revelation. He thinks that they do look a little bit similar, though. Minu asks if he had no idea until now. Dom suddenly stands up and Minu asks what has gotten into him suddenly. Dom bows in front of Minu and calls him his brother. Minu wonders what this idiot is up to this time. Jay and June also look at what Dom is doing. The scene then shifts to Mia's house. She comes out of the shower and feels relaxed. She looks at her mini bike and hopes that she'll be able to ride it okay tomorrow. The next day at the park, people are having a good time. A boy asks if he can hold her hand, but she tells him to screw off. Mia and Shelly are waiting for Jay on a bench. Dom comes from behind with ice cream and tells them to pick one. Shelly takes the plain one and Mia takes the strawberry one. Shelly takes off the ice cream lid and tosses it away. Dom asks why is she throwing it away without licking it. Doesn't she have basic manners for eating it? She asks why should she lick it. Dom shows her a demo and says they lick it before eating it. Shelly calls him a weird guy. Dom feels gloomy and says that everyone eats it like that. Mia pats Dom and says it's okay, she also eats like that. Yuna comes to the park and says that everyone seems to be here. Minu and Jay also come with their cycle. Minu pats Yuna and calls her a lady. Yuna asks if he wants a tackle in the morning. Minu ignores her and greets other members. Shelly calls Jay her darling, and Mia also says hi. Dom suddenly bows and calls Minu as his sir. Shelly and Mia wonder what has gotten into him. Dom tells Yuna that he'll show her skills that he spent all night practicing. Yuna tells him to stop trying to act cool. Dom shows her a victory pose, and she wonders what kind of crap he practiced. Dom thinks that he has to impress her and earn some points today. He starts pedaling and thinks this is show-off time. Dom screeches his tire and says this is long skidding. In long skidding, one has to use legs to stop the back wheel. The bike gets dragged along with body weight as one shifts its body's center. Suddenly, Dom's crotch hits the cycle's handle, and he feels immense pain. He falls from his cycle and wobbles in pain. Yuna sighs and thanks him for the bike comedy show. Yuna pats him and says he didn't have to go so far to make her laugh. Mia puts on her helmet and asks if the seat is too high. Jay replies that it's the right height for her legs. If it's too low, then it would be hard to pedal. She hops on the cycle and hopes she better get used to this. She tells Jay to hold onto her back. Jay replies he has got her back, so she shouldn't worry. She should give it a try now. Minu thinks that Jay is hogging girls to himself and asks if they should do their own thing together. Shelly replies that she isn't in the mood and tells him to screw off. Mia asks if he's holding on to the cycle. Jay replies he is and tells her to pedal forward. He suggests her not to put too much strength into her shoulders and relax them. As Mia tries to relax her body, she gets knocked off balance. However, Jay grabs the handle and stops her from falling. He tells her that she's making her body too tense. Mia blushes and says she'll give it another try. Shelly sees that Mia is hogging Jay for himself and gets annoyed. She goes for them and says she can't stand it anymore. She approaches Mia and tells her to stop flirting with him. Minu looks at Jay and remembers his past. He used to give his little sister a ride like he's doing now. He tells her that Dad didn't buy this bike for her. Little Yuna says that Dad bought him this bike if he looked after them. Little Minu sighs and says okay. When they were riding, little Jay passes by them on his cycle. Minu's sister says that he's so fast. She says they should try to catch up with him. Little Minu tells her to hold on tight and says they will go now. He took her off, and little Yuna told them to wait for them. At present, Minu sighs and thinks those memories are good. Shelly asks Jay if he can teach her to ride as well. Jay asks if doesn't she already knows how to ride a bike. Mia chimes in and says that she's the one who should stop flirting. Shelly asks if she's here to ride a bike or feel him up. Mia replies that Jay promised to teach her first. Jay feels crushed between the girls' argument. Minu pats Jay and says they should switch up. He should rest with Shelly while he teaches Mia. Jay sighs and agrees to it. Shelly puts her glasses on Jay and says that it looks quite good on him. She then puts on Jay's glasses and asks if they suit her. She asks how bad his eyesight is, it's making her dizzy. Jay tells her to give them back and Shelly replies she won't. Mia looks at them and feels envious. Minu asks if something's wrong. Doesn't she like her new partner? Mia replies that's not the case. Yuna approaches from Minu's back and asks, why is he teaching Mia instead of Jay? Minu says that Jay is a bit tired, so they switched places. Yuna tells him not to try anything funky with Mia. Dom pats Minu and calls him his boss. He says he'll handle Yuna, and he can enjoy now. Minu tells him not to call him like that. It's creepy. Dom says that they should step aside so that Minu can have a nice time with Mia. Yuna says he's weird and asks why he was calling Minu his boss. Dom replies that he's her brother, that's why. Yuna grabs Dom by the throat and asks if he wants another round of beating. Later, Minu is helping Mia with her bike. Mia cries and thinks that she doesn't have a talent for bike riding. Minu says that the problem isn't with the talent. She's not moving forward because she's afraid of falling. Mia sighs and says that it's true. Minu says that she's being too timid here. If she's scared, then she'll never be able to move forward. Mia remembers all the suffering she went through in her past school days, just because she was afraid to stand up against them. Minu pats her and says that she should do things with confidence. Everything is scary the first time, but once she gets the hang of it, it's nothing. Mia replies that she'll give it a try then without being afraid. Minu also agrees and says they'll do it now. Minu helps her get in position and asks if she's ready, and Mia replies she is. Minu suggests her not to look down and keep pedaling forward with confidence. Mia takes off and Minu says that she has got the hang of it. Mia asks if he's holding on to her. However, he isn't, and commends her on a good job. Yuna feels happy that Mia finally did it. Dom is also amazed that she managed to do it by herself. Shelly asks what's the big deal about riding a bike. However, our boy Jay prefers to stay silent while giving side-eye. Mia rides her cycle and feels delighted. Soon the day comes to evening and Mia stops pedaling. Everyone congratulates Mia on riding a bike. Minu and Mia talk a bit and feel happy. Jay looks at them again with his penetrating gaze. He says that it's getting late, and he should better go now. Minu asks if he's going already. Jay replies he has to study and Minu tags along. Dom suggests hanging out a bit more. Yuna says that it's quite bad that everyone is leaving and suggests they too head home now. Mia agrees and says today was quite fun. Yuna asks Dom why isn't he leaving. Dom says that he'll walk her to the home. Yuna replies that she'll take a taxi to home, and Dom says that he'll walk her to the taxi then. Dom is tagging Yuna and says that he's feeling thirsty. He asks Yuna if she could watch his bike for a second. He has to get some drinks from the convenience store. Dom leaves the cycle in her care and says he'll buy her a drink as well. Yuna wonders why this idiot keeps annoying her. At the same time, some boys are hanging out after school. They talk about going to the convenience store to buy some snacks. A boy notices a girl with a cycle. He says that she's not bad. Another boy asks if he's going to play some moves on her. The boy smirks and tells his friends to wait. Yuna wonders why is Dom taking so long. She's getting exhausted. The boy calls out to her and asks if he can get her number. Yuna tells him to ask someone else, and she goes back to her phone. The boy says that she could at least add him to the line. If she wants, then he'll give her his number. Yuna curses at him and asks what is his problem. He should stop bothering her and walk away. The boy asks why he called her that. His friend clicks a picture of him getting turned down by a girl. Another boy says that he's getting pissed off again. The boy asks why she doesn't try saying that again. Does he look some sort of retard? He asks if she thinks that she's hot. He grows agitated and curses at her more. Suddenly, Dom shows up and punches the boy in the face. He gets knocked out in one punch and his friends remain in utter shock. Dom takes off his hat and asks who the hell they are. Yuna starts trembling a bit in fear. And Dom once again asks who they are. The boy takes off his bag and asks who he is. Dom quickly jumps into action and jabs the bully in the ribs. The bully gives out in one punch and Dom grabs him by his hair. He goes for another punch and says that they can call him crazy as much as they want. Suddenly, Yuna tells Dom to stop. However, Dom is still adamant about beating the bully. He looks at the boy asking Yuna's number earlier with fierce eyes, and the boy gets terrified. Yuna once again tells him to stop. However, Dom goes for the knockout punch. Nothing can stop our boy from beating them, not even Yuna's requests. Dom beats 3 bullies to the brink of unconsciousness. The last remaining guy wonders who this guy is. He drops his stuff and starts running away for his life. He can't believe that his friends got jumped by one dude. After the fight, Dom is walking along with Yuna. Yuna stops suddenly and says she'll take a taxi from here. Dom asks what's up with her suddenly. Is it because he fought before? Yuna says that she didn't want to see him punching anyone again. Dom asks if he was supposed to stand there and let them speak crap. Yuna says that he didn't have to be so brutal. Dom asks if he thinks that he fought for nothing. Did she want him to stand by when they were toying with her? Yuna doesn't give a reply to this one. Dom says fine. She's a girl who's grown up like a little princess. She probably thinks of him as punk as those bullies are. Dom leaves and tells her to get home safely. The boy who escaped the clutches of Dom phones someone. He tells Sung about what happened before. Sung listens to it, along with Vinny near him. Sung puts down the phone and says that some dudes from their school got their asses kicked by one kid. Vinny smokes a cigarette and crushes the leftover of it on the ground. The boy, after getting beaten up, says that his teeth ache a lot. Another boy talks about beating him next time. Their friend asks how they got their asses kicked by one guy. The boy tells him to shut up as he ran away like a wussy at that time. He grabs him by the collar and asks why he called Vinny and Sung. Is he planning to let everyone know that they got handed by one punk? Suddenly Vinny shows up and kicks the boy away. The boy, while on the ground, asks if it's him. Vinny asks where that punk is. The boy replies that he was gone when he woke up. Vinny calls them idiots and suggests they stop saying that they are from their school. It's embarrassing for them. Sung asks who was the one who beat the crap out of 3 students. A boy replies that he has long hair and a band-aid under his nose. Another boy also agrees. He says that he has the picture he took of his girlfriend. He shows them the photo and says that the quality is a bit bad. Sung asks how they are supposed to find him with this girl's picture. The boy whose photo was taken along with her asks why he took it, and they should better delete it. The boy replies that he was just taking it as a joke. Vinny sees that she has a cycle with her. He leaves and tells Sung to send him the picture. Vinny dials someone's number and it's for TJ. TJ is cycling on the rollers and hears the phone ringing. He hates it when people call him during the workout. He says hello, and the person calls him Mamushi Boy. TJ asks, who the hell is this? Vinny says that it's him, and asks if can't he recognize him. TJ apologizes and almost calls Vinny a lunatic. Vinny says that he sent him a picture and he should look at it. He asks if there's anyone in his crew who rides this bike. TJ replies that he hasn't seen this track bike in his crew. He asks Vinny why is he looking for it. Vinny says that he's looking for someone with long hair and a band-aid under his nose. He was wondering if it was someone he knew. TJ feels the information of long hair and band-aid familiar. He wonders if he's talking about that Sunny High student president's friend. TJ relays the information to Vinny, and Vinny understands that the punk is from Sunny High. After the phone call, TJ sits down on his couch. He smiles happily and starts laughing wildly. He doesn't know what is going on. But that punk from Sunny High would be facing Vinny the lunatic. It feels like he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The scene shifts to Dom playing some games on his mobile in school. Minu approaches him and asks what he's up to. He asks if he would like to do some roller practice with their bikes after school. Dom apologizes and says he has work tonight. Dom says he'll practice on his own when he gets a little break from his work. Jay looks back and calls them a loser. He tells them to stop coming to his class. Minu says that it's not his class. Plus, they are part of the same school. He asks Jay why he doesn't come to their class. Jay asks why he should come to their class. Some girls gossip about those lovers arguing. The other girl also agrees and says that the rumors must be true. Suddenly, Shelly comes close to Jay with her phone. She tells him to say cheese in front of the camera. She takes the photo and says he looks handsome in it. Jay asks what she is doing. Shelly replies that she's sending the photo to her friends in England. They didn't believe her, so she's sending proof. Jay tells her not to send the picture. However, Shelly has already posted the photo on Facebook, and the post asks people to like it for his boyfriend. Shelly says that it's too bad that she posted it, and Jay grows angrier. A boy sitting next to Jay thinks that he would have taken 100 photos with her. Yuna and Mia also enter the class. Mia asks if they should watch a movie together. Yuna notices Dom, and Dom too sees her. She goes past Dom with her head down and Mia asks if everything is okay. Dom also says that he's feeling tired, so he should take a nap now. Minu wonders if something funky happened between them. They are acting weirdly. Mia asks if something happened between her and Dom. Yuna asks what she feels about it. Mia replies, it seems that they had a fight. Yuna says that it's nothing like that. They are not even close enough to fight each other. The scene shifts to the evening. Dom comes to take his cycle and compliments his dog, Jordan, on guarding his bike. He says that he'll skip class today, so they should head home early. When Dom removes the shackles, Jordan runs like a mad dog. Dom chases after him with his cycle and begs him to stop. Later, Dom rides his cycle with his dog on the back. He tells Jordan not to run away like that. The people look at Dom and wonder if he's a dog trainer. After school, some students discuss that they'll get a bike tomorrow, while some say good evening. The boys who got beaten up by Dom are camping outside his school. They wonder when the hell he'll show up. The boy notices the girl who was with that punk yesterday. He says that they found her. Mia asks Yuna if Dom seems a bit strange today. He's skipping classes today. Yuna says nothing happened between them. Also, it's not the first time that Dom has skipped classes. Mia hopes that everything is okay then. The boys approach Yuna and ask if they remember them. Another boy asks where that punk is from yesterday. Mia gets behind Yuna and asks who these guys are. The scene shifts to Dom balancing his cycle. His assistants cheer him on and count the time for him. Dom struggles a bit, and his assistant says that he just made a new record. Dom puts his feet down, and they say that he balanced for 7 seconds. Dom thinks that balancing the bike is so hard, and his assistant says that he's quite an athlete. Suddenly, Dom's phone buzzes up, and he wonders who could it be at this hour. He picks up the phone and says hello. The caller is Mia, and Dom wonders why is she calling her. Mia cries and begs for help. She says that they took away Yuna. Dom becomes furious on hearing it. Dom's assistant says that it's time they head to work. However, Dom starts cycling with explosive power, and his assistant asks where he is going. The scene shifts to the place where the boys are taking Yuna and Mia as hostage. The boy tells her to reveal his boyfriend's location and stop talking trash to him. Yuna asks what his problem is. They started this mess, so they should get out of her face before she calls the cops. The boy laughs at her, saying she could call it now, but the next day won't be good for her. Mia steps in and tells them to stop. She also tells Yuna that she has informed Dom about their situation. Suddenly, Vinny shows up while brushing past other members. At the same time, Dom's assistant is stuck in the traffic. They can't believe that their boss is so fast on his bike. At this rate, they might miss him. Another man informs more of his boys that Dom got a phone call, and then he suddenly rushed to the school. As for Dom, he's cycling at full speed while ignoring traffic signals. He remembers his past when he met Yuna. Some trash was harassing her and was trying to take her forcefully. At that time, Dom showed up with his leg fractured, but full of confidence. He said that his dad won't be happy if he sees this type of stuff happening here. The man bows down in front of Dom and apologizes. Later, he shows up at the school and plays video games alone. Some boys gossip about who that tough dude is. They believe his family must have some deep connection, and it would be better to stay away from him. Yuna approaches him and asks if he's the same mustache kid from that club last night. Dom says that he is, and asks if they are in the same class. Yuna scolds him for dyeing his hair and not coming to school dressed properly. She thought that he was a university student before. Dom asks if she thinks of herself as his mother, nagging him about things. Dom gets up and tells her to come with her for a minute. He takes her out of the classroom and tells her not to reveal about what happened before. Yuna asks, what does he mean? Dom says the fact that he has a mustache and works at a club. Yuna says that she isn't interested in talking crap like that to others. If he's so afraid of it, then why doesn't he start acting like a normal student? She leaves and tells him to stop bothering her with this crap. Dom thinks that this chick has a serious attitude. Later, Dom walks outside and thinks that he should have pretended to ignore her earlier. He wonders why he's in the same school as her. Some seniors come walking in front of Dom and they make eye contact with each other. A boy asks who this trash is. He calls Dom as a freshman and asks why he's eyeballing his seniors like that. Dom replies that he was just staring ahead. The boy asks if he's trying to act cool in front of them. He tells Dom to stop staring at him. However, Dom just keeps staring at him, and the boy begins to sweat. He shoves Dom back and tells him to stop staring. They kick him and wonder since when they had kids like him at the school. He spits at Dom and tells him to quit staring at them. He turns back and says that kids don't have manners these days. Dom picks up his crutches and stands back up. The boy looks back and gets horrified. Dom says that he didn't take a year off school just to be beaten up by punks like them. Later, Yuna comes out with Mia, and they remain shocked to see something. Dom beats both the boys badly and blood spills over his clothes and crutches. Later, the vice principal scolds Dom for beating his seniors. He calls this act ridiculous. He scolds other teachers to get back to their classes and ensure strict discipline is maintained. They don't want anyone to hear about this incident. He adjusts his tie and wonders why this has to happen when their principal is on a business trip. He asks Dom if his parents are coming. He further says he has no right to be at their school. He hears some knock on the door and tells them to come in. The receptionist says that Dom's father is here. The vice principal instructs her to let him in. The receptionist hesitates, and Dom's father takes the entry with his boys. He says that his son goes to a nice school. He asks what his son did this time. He is super busy these days. So did they have to make this old man come all the way here? The vice principal sweats profusely and fumbles his words. Later, Dom walks in the school and students gossip as to why he hasn't been kicked out yet. They say that he was about to be expelled. But his dad stepped in and now he's back at school. They believe he has some serious connections. Dom opens the door and thinks that everyone keeps talking trash behind his back. He thinks getting kicked out would have been better and decides to take a nap here. Dom snores peacefully under the shadow until he hears someone shouting at him to get up. Dom jolts up suddenly and asks who is causing all this trouble. Yuna shows up panting and says she has been looking for him around the school. Dom asks why she was looking for him. Yuna replies that the teacher wants to talk to him, so he told her to fetch him. Dom says he'll go down when he feels more relaxed. His head is too sore to deal with the teacher. Suddenly, Yuna sits beside Dom, and he wonders what trick she has up his sleeves this time. Yuna says that she feels sorry for him. He has his hair dyed, works at a club, and beats seniors. Can't he try to live a decent student life? Dom tells her to stop nagging him as it's annoying. Yuna looks up and asks what he'll do once he graduates. Dom inquires as to why she's asking him that all of a sudden. She says that everyone wants to do something, so she was wondering what he wants to do as well. Dom gets up and says music. Yuna asks what he means by music. Does he want to write songs, become a composer, or singer? Dom replies that he isn't sure, he just wants to make music. Yuna says that it's pretty vague. Dom says that he feels calm when he listens to music. So, he thought about making some good music himself. Yuna suggests him to go to a university and get a music major. Dom says whatever and pulls out a cigarette. However, Yuna immediately grabs it and shreds it to pieces. She scolds him for doing these types of stuff. He should first get a high school diploma, otherwise people will look down on him. Dom says that's enough about him and asks Yuna what she wants to do. Yuna replies that she isn't sure yet. She wanted to work hard for her little brother, but she doesn't have a long-term goal anymore. Dom asks if she has a brother. However, Yuna doesn't respond. She gets up immediately and says she's wasting her time here. She advises Dom to stop acting serious and see the teacher. Dom says that she's the one who started this conversation. Yuna says that it's a good thing that he wants to do something. She hopes that his dream would come true. Now, he should see the teacher, otherwise she'll tell the teacher about him smoking cigarettes on the rooftop. Dom's heart beat faster as he heard Yuna say that she supports him. He wonders if anyone has supported him in his life before. Later, Dom and Yuna are assigned to the cleanliness duty. The students wonder what happened to Dom suddenly. He dyed his hair and is completely different now. Our boy, Dom, cleans the classroom while still on crutches. He then notices a boy erasing his drawing frantically. He approaches the boy and asks if he has to erase so much. Can he see he's trying to clean here? He asks the boy, why isn't he listening to him? If these erased bits fall on the floor, then would he pick them up? The boy grows scared for his life and suddenly Dom pulls out a whitener. He suggests the boy to use this as it'll make his work easier. After that, Dom notices Yuna cleaning the windows. He grabs her hand and says that a man should do this job. Yuna asks, why is he so creepy all of a sudden? Later, the teachers and students look out from the window. The teacher tells that lunatic boy to get down, otherwise he might kill himself. The students look up and ask if he has gone nuts. Well, Dom has taken cleaning windows to the next level, and he's cleaning them while holding a rope. The teacher scolds him to get in and asks why he's putting his life on the line to clean. Dom ignores everyone and thinks that a bit of sweat in the work feels quite good. Yuna sighs and thinks that all of this is her fault. Later, they walk back home, and Yuna says that she hasn't seen someone as extreme as him. Dom feels delighted and worn out from working hard at school today. Suddenly, Dom's stomach grumbles and Yuna asks if he wants to eat something. She'll buy him anything as a reward for being a good student today. Dom, in his own imagination, wonders if Yuna is inviting him to a dinner. He guesses that it could be a dinner date. Yuna asks what he's doing standing over there. Doesn't he want to come? Dom replies that he's coming. He apologizes for zoning out just now and asks what they are eating today. Suddenly, Dom brushes against a boy and he apologizes for it. The boy calls out to him and asks what he'll do about making his uniform dirty. Dom asks how that is his problem. Yuna tells Dom not to beat anyone up again. If he does so, she won't talk to him. Yuna says that she'll pay for their dry cleaning and asks how much they want. The boy says that dry cleaning won't cut it out and demands money for a whole new uniform. Dom rummages through something from his bag, while Yuna tells them to send their account number. Dom pulls out a box and asks if they would like to have this limited edition instead of cash. The boys ask if he's scamming them. Dom removes the box and says he barely managed to trade this with a rapper guy. The boys wonder why it's shining so much, and Dom shows them the ultra-rare Jordan sneakers. He asks if they would like to take this instead of cash, and the losers ask if they are real. Yuna wonders what's so great about a pair of shoes. She doesn't get boys. The boys take them and say they will make a fortune if they sell them online. They thank Dom for the shoes and advise him to look where he's going next time. Yuna commends Dom for resolving things peacefully. Dom smiles and says he'll graduate peacefully without causing any trouble. There's no reason for him to get his hands dirty. Yuna says that she'll buy him whatever he wants, and Dom talks about having chicken for dinner. Later, Dom's assistant receives a message from him to take care of those guys. The man looks up to see if these individuals match the info they got. While the boys were going around a corner, they see some man coming towards them. The boy asks who they are. The man tells him to hand over the shoes and they can end things without bloodshed. Later they hang both the losers upside down by a tree. They sob uncontrollably and think they are doomed. At present, Dom thinks that he broke that promise with Yuna a long time ago. He pedals frantically, and Jay and Minu catch a glimpse of him. Minu asks if that was Dom just now and wonders where he was rushing to. Dom eventually reaches the place while sweating heavily. Everyone looks at him and Yuna thinks that he did show up. The bullies gossip that he looks like an old man. Vinny says that it was him. They have been waiting for him a long time. Dom asks what they are doing with the girls. The boy says they don't have anything with the girls but with him. They want a payback for what he did to them earlier. The rain starts dripping and the boy says that he wants 2 of his front teeth, that's all. Dom picks up the lighter from the ground and grabs it in his hand. The boy asks if he's bowing to him now. However, Dom punches the boy suddenly, knocking more of his teeth out. He tells everyone not to think of running away like a little rat now. The boys wonder who this kid is. They believe he wants to get his ass handed over badly. Yuna steps in and says they are the ones who started this mess. They should end things here and go their separate ways. Dom says that this isn't something they can walk away from. He advises Yuna to take Mia and stay back. The boy tells him to stop acting cool in front of his girlfriend unless he wants to get killed. Dom tells him to shut up and bring it on. He punches a boy away coming at him and punches another one next to him. Another troublemaker comes from behind, and Dom jabs the lighter in his eyes. The man screams in pain and the boys say they need to grab him from behind. They suggest charging all at once on him. Yuna looks at the fight and wonders what she should do. Mia suggests her to call the cops now. Yuna replies they can't. Mia asks why not. If they don't, then things might go out of hand. Yuna says that Dom will be punished as well if the cops show up. And if the school finds out, then he'll be expelled as well. Mia asks what they should do then. Suddenly, someone throws his jacket onto Yuna. Minu tosses his bag and walks like a Chad. He says he followed Dom and found out that he got himself into another crap now. Dom feels exhausted and a boy tries to punch him from the side. However, Minu shows up and punches the boy away. Minu asks why he's getting jumped by these trash people. Suddenly, the boy gets back and punches Minu. He asks who the hell he is. Suddenly, Vinny notices Minu and calls him out. He says that it's been quite a while since they saw each other. He didn't know that he was friends with this loser. He asks how his broken leg is doing these days. Minu tells Vinny that he should have settled down, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Dom punches another boy and tells Minu to stay away from that red-haired guy. He wants to take him on by himself. Soon enough, Jay also shows up at the scene. Mia looks flustered, and Yuna asks how they found out about this. Jay says that they saw Dom racing his bike on his own, so they came after him. Jay looks at both the idiots fighting and breathes out. He puts down his bag and then proceeds to take off his jacket. He tells Yuna to keep an eye on their bikes. Finally, our boy is going to show what he's capable of. At the same time, some guys record the ongoing fight. They don't know who is fighting who, but it looks interesting. Jay is exhausted after taking some hits and packing some punches. TJ says that the student president is quite good at fighting. After much anticipation, Vinny and Dom face off against each other. Dom rushes forward, but Vinny throws his shirt at him, obscuring his vision. He then punches Dom and follows it with more punches. He lands the final hit on Dom against the wall and everyone hears a loud thud. Dom slumps down after taking the hits, and the boys laugh at him for going down after taking a couple of hits from Vinny. Vinny takes his shirt and says this is a lame way to end things. However, Dom grins and says it's not over yet. He says that one of them has to die for this to end. Vinny approaches him and asks if that's the case. He goes for a punch and says he'll have to kill him now. Dom evades the attack and headbutts Vinny in the face. Vinny stumbles backward and Dom lands a clean hit on him. Vinny falls down and Dom gets over him. He starts mowing down punches on Vinny's face, and eventually, Vinny gives out. Suddenly, Yuna grabs Dom and tells him to stop. He promised that he wouldn't fight anymore. Dom comes back to his senses and lets go of him. Vinny's goons stop fighting and wonder if Vinny just lost. Suddenly, Vinny's friend shows up with a bat and says that's enough. He says they should end things now before it gets dragged out anymore. Before Vinny could smash the bat at Dom, someone flashed their light at them. Dom's assistant comes out of the car and asks if they are taking an evening stroll. They ask if they could join them as well because this seems to be quite fun. The boys start running away, wondering who these men are. Sung sighs and thinks this is lame. He carries Vinny on his shoulder later. Yuna feels relieved that it is over. The man tells his boys to round all those little rats here. However, Dom tells him to let go of them. Things will become worse if they get involved. The man panics and agrees to his boss's request. Jay dusts himself and Minu asks if he's all right. And Jay replies that he is. TJ's gang ends the recording and says this is quite bad that it ended too quickly. The assistant asks Dom about who those guys are and to which school they go. Dom says that it's okay, they should end things before they get out of control. The man asks if shouldn't they hunt down those guys so that they won't do this again. Dom tells him to chill out. If they get involved, then he won't be able to continue his school. Also, his dad shouldn't hear about this incident. Mia asks Yuna who Dom is, and she tells Mia to look at it by herself. The man grabs Jay and Minu and asks what they should do about them. Dom says they are his school friends, so he should let them go. The man apologizes and puts both of them down immediately. Minu remains in utter shock and asks Dom who these guys in black suits are. Is he some kind of gang boss? Dom says that these guys work for his father. Minu now remains in more shock than before. Jay looks at his bike lying in the rain and feels relieved that it's all right. The next day, the students gossip about what happened to Jay, Dom, and Minu. All three of them are badly injured and covered in bandages. Minu asks if they are talking about them, and Jay also thinks the same. Dom asks what happened to their bikes. Minu says that it got rained on yesterday, so he had to take it apart. By taking it apart, he literally took it apart and hung it like clothes in the sun. Jay and Dom open the classroom door, and the students look at them in shock. Dom asks what is happening here. Mia calls out to them and Yuna asks if they saw the posted video. Dom asks what video and if it's a sex tape they are talking about. Suddenly the teacher comes behind them and tells them to come with him to the principal's office. In the office, the vice principal shows them the video and asks if this is them in the video. The video got posted on the internet, and he asks if they are advertising their school as a den of thugs. You all should look at your faces, he says. Is this how they are supposed to go to college? Don't they feel sorry for other students? Dom, while hearing the scolding, wonders who posted that video. The vice principal scolds Dom especially. He thought he cleaned up his act, but now he's getting involved in this crap. Yuna says that those gun-high kids attacked them first. They didn't want to fight either. The vice principal asks if they consider fighting a good idea then. What will they do about this video? It's ruining their school image. The principal suddenly shouts that this is enough. He says he won't let this incident slide away. The vice principal says that he'll give them a good scolding, so he should let them go this time. Also, their parents are from big corporations and reputed doctors. The principal asks what their parents' job has to do with this. He says that the school violence is an unforgivable offense, so he'll suspend them all from tomorrow. All three of them remain in utter shock, especially Jay. Shelley hears all of this from outside the door and is also taken aback. The principal calls out to Jay and says that he's disappointed in him. He was supposed to be a model to other students, but now he got involved in this. He thought of him highly. Suddenly, Shelley enters the office and asks if he's really suspending all three of them. She says that guys fight each other all the time, so he can't do that. The principal insists that he can't let school violence slide away, despite the circumstances. Later that evening, the trio gathers in the park and feels sad. Minu says that he would be a dead meat if his parents found out about this. Dom apologizes to them, as it was his fault for getting them involved. He's thinking about dropping out of school and taking responsibility for this. Minu throws a pebble at Dom to knock some sense into him. He tells him to stop talking stuff like that. If he was in his place, he would have done the same thing. In fact, he feels better after kicking their asses. Especially that punk Vinny Hong. Also, he's rooting for him and Yuna, so he shouldn't say sorry. Dom keeps thinking of what Minu said about supporting him. He imagines Minu to be some sort of old man, cheering him on. He sniffles and calls Minu his bro. Minu asks Jay what happened to him. He has been quiet this whole time. However, Jay doesn't respond. Minu throws a pebble at him and asks what's wrong with him. The pebble knocks Jay out and he falls to the ground. They wonder if he's in shock after getting suspended. They tell Jay to wake up, but he doesn't budge at all. At the same time, the principal is thinking about what happened till now. He went to the cycling competition as a board member that is being organized. Another member says that he still makes time even after being busy at school. He replies he enjoys it. The member says that he saw a few Sunny High students on the participation list. The principal asks if that's true. Sangho, another board member, asks why a bunch of nerds are entering this biking competition. He jokes that they may not even pass the prelims. This greatly annoyed the principal, and he's thinking about that in the present. After the trio were suspended, Yuna tries calling them, but they don't pick up. She sighs and wonders if they all canceled their cellular plan. Mia asks if they are not answering, and Yuna agrees. Mia says that she called Jay's phone as well, but it was turned off like she said. Yuna sees Shelly going with a backpack and asks where she's heading off. Shelly replies that Jay is not here, so there's no reason for her to stay at the school. Suddenly, a boy comes rushing to Shelly, asking if she would like to hang out with him. However, Shelly knees the boy and tells him to get away from him. The boy, even in pain, thinks that her knees are beautiful. Shelly then puts on her helmet and glasses and starts riding away. The scene shifts to the park where the trio are coming with their bike. Minu asks what kind of mental training the principal will make them go through. The principal asks what took them so long, they should better get their asses over here. Minu complains about what's wrong with him and his outfit. However, our boy, without wasting a word, quickly dashes forward, and Minu says that he's cheating. Jay approaches the principal and says one. After him, Dom and Minu also come in. The principal scolds them for moving like they are half asleep. Do they think this is some kind of game? He tells Dom and Minu to run up the stairs and see who can reach it first. Dom and Minu just stand puzzled, and the principal tells them to move already. After going through the stairs, they even pant more heavily. The principal asks why they are panting already. They are just getting started. Starting today, he's no longer their principal. He's a white-bearded Vulcan who will train them mentally. They should say yes, sir, when they answer. The trio shouts, yes, sir, and the principal asks if that's the loudest wimps like them could say. They should now put their arms around each other's shoulders and do sit-ups. Minu says that they might die today with how the principal is acting. Dom says he's already feeling dizzy. The principal starts the counting and they start doing the sit-ups. The scene shifts to some boys seeing 18+ stuff in a magazine and getting turned on. The class monitor comes in and sketches over the magazine. The boys look grossed by her actions and ask why she did that. The class monitor feels annoyed and scolds them for seeing lewd stuff at the school. The boy says that she ruined their favorite model. Suddenly, June enters the class and says what's up. He asks the pervert boy if he has seen Minu. The boy says that Minu won't be coming to school for a few days because he got suspended yesterday. Surprised, June asks, what did they do to get suspended? The boy says that Minu, Jay, and Dom got into a fight with kids from Gun High. The principal got so pissed that he suspended all three of them. June sighs and thinks this is impossible. As for the trio, the principal is still a nightmare for them, even in suspension. All three of them are exhausted, and Minu says that he can't feel his legs. The principal asks how young guys like them could get tired so easily. The break time is over, so they should assemble already. All three of them wonder if they still have more to do. Dom stands up and feels all worn out from the squats and leg exercises. He believes they would be buried alive if they were caught fighting again. The principal says that he'll give them a mission. If they succeed, then he'll revoke their suspension. All three of them cheer up on hearing it and ask what the mission is. The principal points to the tires on his behind and asks if he can see them there. He wants each one of them to tie it to the seat of their bike. Then they will have to drag it to the top of the hill. All three of them ask if he's serious. The principal replies that he's damn serious. He further adds that all three of them have to make up to the top. Even if one of them fails, then he'll extend the suspension. The trio looks baffled and says this is worse than suspension. The scene shifts to a boy looking at a bike online. He wonders why all these bikes are so expensive these days. Even the crappy specs are overpriced. His friend asks if he's reading too much of Windbreaker webtoon lately, and now he wants a bike. The boy says that he just wants one. Suddenly he notices a bike parked in front. He says that it looks cool. He wonders if anyone owns it. Also, it doesn't have a lock. His friend says that someone must have left it here for a second. The boy hands his stuff to his friend and says he's super lucky today. His friend wonders if he would seriously try to do that here. He advises him not to do that unless he wants to end up at the police station. The boy says it's not his fault that some idiot left it here. He'll ride it to home now. The boy's friend thinks that the bike looks expensive and he would be in the deep sea if he got caught. Suddenly he notices someone coming and thinks that he should get out of here. The boy tries pedaling the cycle, but it doesn't budge at all. He wonders why this isn't moving forward, and if one of the gears is stuck. The bike owner shows up and asks what a little fly like him is doing on it. The boy tries apologizing, but it's too late for that. They beat the boy up and he sobs in pain. His teammate advises him to have a safe ride and the bike owner waves at him. He thinks that he's carrying a 5-to-1 gear ratio, which can't be handled by ordinary people. The scene shifts to Jay and Minu cycling upward with the tire. Dom is having the worst as his tire keeps bouncing from side to side. The principal tells Dom to get over here. He asks why is he already exhausted, and Dom complains to himself as to why he bought a bike. The principal asks if he knows why his tire is bouncing. The problem is his faulty pedaling. Most people step on the pedal so the bike bounces around, and it leads to inefficient pedaling. For stable pedaling, the upward pull is more important than the downward push. That way, he could achieve efficient pedaling. For that, riders use toe clips or cleats to fasten their foot to the pedal. To sum it all, the most important thing in pedaling is pulling up, not pushing down. Dom understands what he said and gets on his cycle. He thinks that the upward pull is more important and improves his posture to a certain extent. The principal looks at him and seems somewhat satisfied with it. Suddenly, Shelley comes on his cycle calling out to Jay. She brushes past her grandpa, and he asks, how did she know their whereabouts? Shelley blushes on seeing Jay and asks if he's having a hard time. Jay and Minu look back, and Minu asks why he's seeing 3 Shelley. Shelley takes out an energy drink and hands it over to Jay. She rummages through her bag and says she brought some snacks for the side characters as well. Jay gulps down the drink and feels refreshed. Both Dom and Minu make a crybaby face on seeing Jay drink it alone. Jay feels pity and hands over the energy drink to them. On the other hand, the principal keeps wondering how Shelley knew they were here. Dom apologizes once again and says they are going through this because of him. Minu tells him to cut the crap and advises him not to get emotional. Shelley asks if sorry is all you two have to offer. Because of them, her Jay got suspended as well. He shouldn't just stand there and say sorry. He should better suck up to it and take responsibility. Jay interrupts Shelley and says that's enough. He asks what the point of bringing this up now is. She should just go back and stop bothering them. Shelley says that they can't come to school, so she is worried about him. However, our boy just tells her to screw off. Shelley's tear shows up on hearing Jay's response, and Dom and Minu freak out. Shelley runs away while crying, and the principal asks what happened to her lovely granddaughter. She cycles away while sobbing, saying she hates all of them. Her grandpa tries to call her back, but to no avail. Dom and Minu pile up on Jay, asking how he could talk like that to a girl. He should better go and apologize now, jerk. Jay tells them to shut up. He has to get rid of this suspension, so they should get back to work. Minu says that he's cold-hearted like always, and Dom feels worse than before. By the evening, Dom is once again cycling, but without the tire bouncing crazily. He feels he can't take it anymore. He's using muscles in his legs that he didn't even know he had. He's not even halfway there, but he's feeling dizzy. He can't have Jay and Minu being held back because of him. Minu calls out to Dom and says that it's getting dark. It would be better if they call it a day for now. Dom says that he'll practice a bit more, so they should head out first. Minu asks why he's working so hard. Things might get dangerous if it gets dark. Dom says that he is not a baby, so he shouldn't worry about him. He'll head home before dark. Minu asks if he has to work so hard on the first day itself. Jae chimes in and says that he's going to study now. Minu asks what kind of beast he is. He's still thinking about studying even after getting the suspension. Minu says that he'll talk to him later and advises Dom to get back before dark. Dom gives them a thumbs up, and Minu leaves along with Jae. Dom thinks that he wouldn't have to be here late if he was able to ride like them. After pedaling with tires for the whole day, Minu feels much easier to pedal now. They blow through the streets at a speed never matched before. After school, Yuna is waiting for Minu, and Mia waits for Jae. They see a boy walking past in front of them, and Yuna asks if he looks like Jae. Mia also agrees, and says that they do look the same. Minu and Jae, while riding to the home, find Yuna and Mia waiting at school. They ask why are they here. Yuna says that they were worried about them as they weren't answering their phones. She asks where they have been. Kay looks at his brother and wonders if she's her girlfriend. He also questions if Jae got into a fight, as he's all bruised up. Yuna asks where Dom is. Wasn't he supposed to be with them? Minu says that Dom wanted to practice a bit more, so they left without him first. Yuna asks how they could leave him there. They are supposed to be friends. Minu says that Dom insisted on staying longer. He couldn't bring him forcefully against his wish. Yuna says that she'll head over to Dom's house in that case. Before Yuna leaves, Minu tells her not to speak of the suspension in front of Dad. Yuna asks why would she say that? She isn't that dumb to talk about it. Mia tells Jae that kids at school are protesting to get a new student president since he got suspended. Jae replies that he'll have to own up to his actions in that case. Suddenly, they hear someone asking if they got suspended. Kay asks his brother what he did this time. He asks Jae if he was pretending to be a nerd while being a thug this whole time. Mia asks Jae if that's her brother, and Jae agrees. She finds Kay cute, and says they look so much alike. Kay says that he should have known after seeing him all beat up. Doesn't he know how much Mom will be angry if she finds this out? Jae tells him to shut up and says they should better go. Kay says that he's making things harder for both of them. He tells Jae to answer his question honestly. Is he the leader of bullies? However, Jae tells him to stop talking nonsense. Mia misses the chance to walk with Jae and feels dejected. Minu says that she must have waited for quite a while for them. He should at least take responsibility by dropping her at the bus stop then. Mia replies, okay, and I believe this could be a potential ship sailing in the future. Minu, while walking along with Mia, says that he would like to grab something to eat, but he's broke lately. Mia says they can get some next time with everyone else. Minu mumbles whether he should get a part-time job or something. Suddenly Mia laughs up, saying there's something funny about him getting a part-time job. Minu says that she looks pretty when she laughs. Our boy trying to get his cheesy lines to make the work, but to no avail. Minu says that if she gets rid of the glasses and changes her style a bit, then everyone will like her a lot. Mia replies that she doesn't take off the glasses because Jae gave it to her. She has gotten used to wearing them now. Minu says that she keeps talking about Jae all the time. Mia blushes up and asks if that's the case. She sees that her bus has arrived and thanks Minu for waiting with her. Minu waves at her and says, take care. Once she has left, he wonders why it has to be that damn nerd out of all the people. The scene shifts to Dom, cycling back home, while still having a tire attached to it. Dom is kind of becoming David Goggins here. He looks up and sees Yuna waiting for him. Yuna hands him over the chicken, and Dom blushes up on getting it from his love. The Iron Man delivers the orders and asks if she would like a coupon as well. The Iron Man thinks that seeing cycles gives him the trauma of the past. In the background, Yuna scolds Dom for starving the whole day. Later, Dom bites down the chicken, and feels that this is best after putting in all the hard work. Yuna tells him to slow down as no one will steal it from him. Dom explains everything that happened so far and says this is his fault. Yuna says that the principal took things too far today. She advises him not to practice in the dark as it's dangerous. Dom says that he feels bad that they got suspended because of him, so he thought about working harder. Yuna says that she already told him not to fight then. Nothing good comes out of it. Dom apologizes to Yuna for breaking the promise of not fighting again. Yuna tells him to forget about it. She was the reason that this whole thing started, so she should be the one responsible. Yuna thanks him for what he has done so far for her. Dom blushes and remains in awe upon hearing those words. Feeling nervous, he starts chomping down on the food and chokes on it. Yuna asks what's wrong and Dom starts speaking gibberish. He gulps down the coke, but spills it out as well. Yuna tells him to slow down and stop acting like an escaped convict. The scene shifts to Vinny smoking a cigarette while balancing on his cycle. At school, he beat the boys who spread rumors about him in the school. Sung holds Vinny down and tells him to take it easy. However, Vinny kicks another boy and asks if they are not afraid of him because he lost to those Sunny High pricks. Another boy asks what happened, and a boy informs him that Vinny got his ass whooped by a Sunny High dude. Later, Vinny is called to the staff room for doing violence in the school. The teacher raises his hand to slap him, but halts himself. He says that hitting trash like him would be a waste of his energy. He scolds him for beating other school kids first, and now beating his classmates. He should better clean himself up, otherwise, no one in the school or society would want him. He has filed a suspension on him, so he shouldn't come to school from tomorrow. At present, Vinny feels hopeless and thinks about giving up on school. His phone buzzes, and he sees his mother calling. Suddenly, Vinny hears someone shouting. He sees that some boys have dined and dashed, and the owner is chasing after them. The boy wonders why the owner keeps following him. It's not worth it for how much she's running. Suddenly, Vinny hits the boy right at the perfect angle, making the boy regret stealing for his entire life. The boy curls on the ground, holding his crouch in pain. The owner grabs him and calls him a little thief. She'll now show him how scary this world can be. He'll be coming to the police station along with her. The boy apologizes and Vinny calls them idiots. Later, Vinny walks down the road with his cycle. He stops at a downhill and remembers his past. He and Minu both trash-talked before going down the hill. Their crew members wonder if they have gone crazy. One of them might end up getting killed over their stupid pride. June also says that he's taking things too far. Why do they have to race this downhill out of all the places? If things go out of control, then it might become worse for them. Minu tells Vinny to keep things fair and square on this downhill. Vinny asks if he's scared. It's not official, so they should enjoy themselves. Little rich kids like him brag about their bikes but suck at riding. Minu tells him to keep talking BS and he'll see him at the finish line. Both of them start going down the hill with Minu being ahead. Suddenly Vinny tries to shove Minu, and Minu asks what he's trying to pull now. Vinny mocks him for acting scared. He says that his face is hilarious right now. Vinny takes him over the turn and says they should have a little fun now. He skids his tire by stepping his foot on it. Minu's tire brushes against Vinny's tire, and he gets knocked out of the balance. Vinny too crashes as well, and June comes running for them from behind. Vinny gets up with his hand bleeding all over it. However, Minu has his worst as he slammed into the fence. June hurriedly rushes to Minu's aid and Vinny finds this quite pleasing. Vinny now looks at the same downhill and feels quite good about it. He then starts going at it again. At Jay's house, Minu is once again hogging at his place. He says that his whole body is aching from going uphill today. Jay asks how long he plans to sponge off from him. Minu replies that he isn't sure yet. His place feels more comfortable to him. Minu lays down on the bed and hits something hard. He gets up immediately and wonders what that was. He checks under the pillow and finds a cell phone. He asks Jay why he keeps this stuff here. It looks so ancient that it should be at a museum. He should better change his phone. Jay replies that he only needs to take calls. What else does he need it for? Minu says that he's just a different breed from others. Jay tells him to shut up and switches off the light. Before sleeping, Minu asks Jay what he thinks of Mia. Jay asks why he's talking about her all of a sudden. Minu asks if he's not interested in her. If that's the case, can he ask her out then? Jay says he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't need his permission for that. Minu says all right, and talks about doing whatever he wants. The scene shifts to Sung calling Vinny, but Vinny doesn't pick it up. He wonders if he's dead or something. As for Vinny, he just isn't in the mood to pick it up. He takes out his last cigarette and thinks that he doesn't have money to buy anymore. Plus, he can't steal because he can't go to school. He puts on his jacket and thinks about asking his mom for some money. The scene shifts to the mall where a lot of crowd has gathered. Vinny's mom is working as a peon there and mops the floor. She breathes a sigh of relief after doing the work. She notices a parent, scolding her son for messing his face and clothes with the food. She cleans her son's mouth and says she won't buy him more snacks if he keeps doing this. Vinny's mom looks at the child, and it reminds her of the past. In the past, she walked home with Vinny, and little Vinny asked about making something good for dinner. He says he would like to have stir-fried pork. Since they were poor, Vinny's mom replied she would make it the next week when she would have money. Little Vinny replies that he wants it today and he's sick of having rice with soy sauce every day. She felt sorry for her son, as she wasn't able to give him what he wanted. At present, a boy drops his ball and it rolls towards Vinny's mom. She picks it up and tells the boy to take it as he dropped this. The boy goes forward and thanks her for it. However, the child's mother holds him back by grabbing his hand. She tells her kid that he shouldn't pick something dirty from the floor. She'll buy him a new one, so they should just leave this one. Vinny's mom sighs at being looked down upon and hearing such responses. Another worker asks why she's standing idle there. She needs to empty the garbage bins. Vinny's mom says that she's coming. While going forward, she accidentally hits the broom on a woman's leg. The girl asks what that was and says it's gross. Her fiancé asks what's wrong. Vinny's mom apologizes for making the mistake. However, the girl lashes out at her, saying that she should better watch where she takes her filthy mop. Her fiancé asks what has gotten into her suddenly. Vinny's mom once again apologizes for causing trouble. Soon enough, Vinny arrives at the place where his mom is working. He feels sick coming here because of these rich people, and thinks about getting some money and getting out of here. Vinny looks around and some girls notice him. They whisper among themselves that the red-haired boy seems to be deformed. He has one eye colored. Vinny thinks that everyone keeps saying those stuff behind his back. Suddenly he hears a commotion going on and the people ask if there's a fight. Vinny hears a woman screaming at someone and asking for the manager to be brought here. He wonders who the hell is screaming so loud. The girl is still lashing out at Vinny's mom, saying that she ruined her shopping experience and her day. She asks if this is how they treat VIP customers. Vinny's mom gets on her knees and begs for forgiveness. The girl says that she won't come back unless she's fired from this job. Suddenly, Vinny steps out from the crowd and calls out to his mother. He asks what she's doing on the floor. The girl asks who this new trash is. Vinny ignores her and picks up the broom. He then smashes it onto the floor, thus breaking it. Vinny converts the broom into a fighting stick and tells the crazy bitch to shut her goddamn mouth. Vinny's mom holds him and tells him to stop. She asks what he is doing. The girl gets frightened and asks if that sicko is her son. She wonders why he's freaking out at them. She says that both of them are pathetic. Vinny tells her to say that again, unless she wants her head bashed by this broom. The girl freaks out and calls for security. Vinny's mom begs him not to do this, at least for her mom's sake. Vinny tells her to let go of him. He's sick of her as well. He asks if doesn't she have any self-respect. This bitch is nothing, so why is she kneeling to her? Vinny's mom says that she was wrong in the first place and tells him to stop. Vinny says that it doesn't matter how important making money is, but she shouldn't degrade herself to this bitch. Vinny remembers his past when he was both scolded and embraced by his mother. Now that he saw her kneeling in front of others, it boils his blood. He curses at the girl and lunges forward. Vinny's mother tries to stop him and the girl too freaks out. Suddenly, Vinny's mom collapses while begging him to stop. Vinny looks at her and wonders what just happened to her. He drops the stick and shouts for her mom. Later, he takes her to the emergency hospital. The doctor puts her on an IV drip and explains that she's in the final stage of cirrhosis of the liver. She must have known it, but she must haven't told him about it. Her condition is very serious right now, and a liver transplant is the only treatment option left. The doctor explains that the cost of surgery would be around $300,000, since there are a lot of patients waiting for the surgery, so he should get the money together as quickly as possible. Vinny remembers his past when he was a kid. He was on his cycle when he saw a kid in front. The child's mother grabs his son and asks what he's doing here. She tells him to stay away from that kid. The kid asks why he has the left eye and hair red. The mother replies that he must have some weird disease. Vinny looks at his potential friend leaving and feels dejected. Suddenly, someone throws a rock at Vinny, and he looks back. Some boys ask Vinny the freak about what he's doing alone. Another boy says that he's a mutant, as he has a red-colored eye. Vinny stares at them as if he wants to beat them badly. The bully tells him to quit eyeballing him like that. He punches Vinny, asking how a mutt like him is daring to stare at him. Vinny falls with his bike, and the bully tells him to keep his eye down so that he won't bother anyone. He asks if his mom has a red eye or hair too. They believe his family must be cursed. The bully spits at Vinny, and Vinny feels disgusted by them. The bully tells him to bark whenever he sees him the next time. Suddenly, A boy comes with his cycle and slams the front wheel at the perfect place. The bully trembles in pain on the floor and asks, "Who the hell did this?" Little Minu takes off his helmet and apologizes to him. He says he didn't see him there. The bully asks if he's insane. He knows very well that he did it on purpose. Even after doing so, he only has sorry to say. Minu asks if it's a good thing to punch someone then. The bully asks how a little twerp like him is talking back to him. Suddenly, Minu's bodyguard comes rushing for him, saying how scared they were when he disappeared suddenly. A boy tells the bully that his family is so rich that they even have bodyguards. He says it would be best if they stay out of this. The bully sighs and says they should better leave now. Minu sees them leaving and calls them dumbass. Minu picks up his cycle and asks Vinny if he's okay, and Vinny replies he is. Minu asks who that jerk is. He has been picking on him for ages. The next time he sees him, he won't let him walk away like that. Vinny says that it's fine, so they should forget about it. Minu says that he's the only kid in this neighborhood with whom he can ride his bike. How is he supposed to ignore him like that? He asks if he will join his biking crew later. Vinny says that he will join it if he changes the name from Zephyrus to something else, as it sounds childish. Minu asks what's wrong with it. The name is related to the god of wind, which comes from Greek mythology. The bodyguard asks what he's doing. He should come back home now. His father told them to bring him back early as he'd be going out for dinner. Minu asks if can't he play a bit longer, but the guard stays adamant. He tells him to stop playing and just come with them. Before leaving, the guard tells Vinny to stay away from Minu. If they ever see him again with Minu, then things won't be good for him. The guard takes Minu's cycle and wonders why Minu hangs with a weird-looking kid. One guard takes Minu, while the other one carries the bike. Vinny is left alone with his cycle, feeling dejected. The scene shifts to the welcome ceremony of students moving to middle school. The principal announces that he expects them to be faithful and diligent in their studies. Some boys look at Vinny and make fun of his red eyes and hair. They wonder if he has a disease or something. Vinny stands among the crowd, listening to all the insults behind his back. He looks behind and sees his mother standing with a bouquet. When Vinny sees her, she waves back at him. However, Vinny wonders why she came here as it's too embarrassing for him. He told her not to come, and now he'll have to pretend he doesn't know her. After the welcome ceremony, Vinny's mom hands her son a bouquet and congratulates him on entering middle school. Vinny takes the bouquet and listens to all the insults going about him and his mom. Vinny's mom says that she'll take a picture of him on this special day. She tells her son to smile. Vinny, in anger, slams the bouquet and says it's embarrassing. He told her not to come here, yet she still came. He tells her to stop caring about him and just go back to work. After saying that, Vinny starts running away. Vinny's mom remains in shock at her son's response. Later, Vinny is walking alone outside the school. The bullies from his childhood greet him as a freak and say they are meeting after a long time. Vinny becomes surprised on seeing his arch-enemies here. The bully throws Vinny to the ground and says he should bark whenever he sees him. He asks if he thought he would be treated like a normal kid if he showed up to school wearing their uniform. The bully's friend advises him to stop. If the teachers catch them, then it wouldn't be good for them. The bully tells Vinny to keep his eyes down at school from now on, unless he wants his other eye to turn red. The bully leaves away with his friend, saying that his mother looks like a monster as well. On hearing those trash speak ill of his mother, the anger within Vinny sparks up. He gets up and looks at them fiercely. He tells them to stop right there. The bully walks toward Vinny and asks if he just swore at him. He says that he dug his grave now. It wouldn't matter to him if the teacher shows up or not, he'll whoop him badly. However, Vinny just stares at the bully. The bully grabs Vinny's mouth and asks what he's staring at. Vinny takes out the pen from his pocket and jams it into the bully's arm. The bully cries in pain, and Vinny quickly follows up with a punch on his face. The bully stumbles back, and Vinny thinks that these people look down on others just because he looks different from them. He wonders why such stuff gives them a sense of superiority. Vinny punches the boy again, and thinks that the only way for him to survive would be to beat these punks at their own game. Vinny did the same thing as he slowly reached high school. He ripped anyone to shreds who spoke ill about him. He believed that the world was unfair, so this was the only way for him to retaliate. At present, Vinny's mom grabs his hand, and Vinny feels sorry for her. Later that evening, Vinny is walking alone on the road. He looks at the city and the sun setting, while contemplating his life. He rummages in his pocket for cigarettes, but he finds out he has none left. He crushes the packet and breathes a sigh of relief. He remembers his past when his mother got that scar on the face. She was going back home while thinking about the price of meat. She remembers her son asking for pork one day, and now she is able to afford it for him. Once she returns home, she freezes up on seeing something. She drops her food and makes her way through the crowd gathered outside her house. The people ask what happened here and tell each other to dial 911. When Vinny's mom sees the house burning down, she remains in utter shock. She remembers that she left the heater on for Vinny before leaving, and gets horrified at remembering it. She rushes inside the house to rescue her son. At the same time, little Vinny comes out of the house while coughing. His vision starts getting blurry, and he sees someone's shadow approaching. Vinny's mom saves him while getting burnt in the process. Later, Vinny wakes up in the hospital with an oxygen mask on his face. He looks around to make sense of where he is. Beside his seat, he sees his mom covered in bandages after getting burnt. On that day, his world turned upside down. At present, Vinny cries alone, remembering all the hardships his mother had to go through. Seeing Vinny break down like this aches my heart. He deserves a better life.